Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Friday!
Yeah.
And look who's here. The most interesting man in sports media.
No
Am
question.
I really? I
To quote
appreciate it.
Jackson.
No question.
Good to see you guys. Man.
Good to
It's
see
great
you.
to have you in
How you
studio.
doing, baby?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can't wait to get into it.
So you're in this weekend for?
I'm in this weekend for Joe Thomas and some other guys' induction as the Browns legend. So every year I try to get back, bring my son back. He had a great time last year. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. We get to hang out at the facility, watch practice tomorrow.
Nice.
Get to talk to some other legends. So it should be a good opportunity.
Now,
Good
how old is
chance.
your son?
He's 3.
Is he? So he really doesn't grasp it yet, but
So
he kind of does, I bet.
Last year he was wearing my jersey, and he understood Daddy used to play. So this year he was looking forward to it. When we touched down today, he was like, "Daddy, are we in Cleveland? Are we in Cleveland?"
Nice.
So he gets it. He's getting
Good.
it. He'll be 4 in November. So
Yeah.
he's
an older 3.
Yeah,
Well,
he's an older 3.
I'm curious, when you obviously you played with Joe and, you guys suffered through a lot of losses together.
Yeah.
But when he, remember like towards the end of his career, he could have gotten traded to the Broncos, had a chance to
Right.
play in the playoffs, and
Right.
he turned it down. I'm guessing you weren't surprised by that.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what? You don't know what a guy's thinking
Yeah.
until you have that moment
Yeah.
to decide.
Yeah.
And I thought for a moment, because he's been so great at what he's been doing for so long,
Yeah.
and he never had a chance to say, hey, to play in the playoffs and experience it. Speaking firsthand, it was probably one of the best experiences of my life. So when he
Right.
had that opportunity to move on and go to a different place, and he decided not to, it let me know like he's Cleveland through and through, and I get it. His body probably wasn't ready to move on.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's very rare do you start your career and end your career in one place nowadays with the way
In any sports nowadays.
Well, especially when you're an elite player on
Right.
a bad team.
Right.
Most
Right.
of them want to pull ripcord as
That's
first chance they
right.
get.
Well, here, it's a rarity, but I would tell you, when you have a chance to be in the playoffs, right, that's tough. I mean, you want to at least taste it, right? You have to taste it. If you're about, and nothing against what Joe was doing, he decided later on in his career he's going to do this thing at the end. But I'm just saying, I don't know if I could have done that. I don't know if I could.
Same. When I got an opportunity, I think I might have talked to you guys before about this, but when I had an opportunity to leave, well, I got released first and foremost.
Yeah.
So I was the prettiest girl at the ball. They released me at February before free agency started. So I wanted to go to a place that had a quarterback.
Right, I remember you
that
saying
didn't
that,
mimic anything that gave me any remnants of not going to the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was important for me.
Yeah.
Obviously, I felt like I could still play at a high level. Guys are in different situations, and let's face it, Joe made a lot of freaking money. And not to say that it was about the money,
But he could have made that
he could have
somewhere
gone,
else, too.
Yeah, he could have gone anywhere. It was, I commend him for what he did. I thought he stepped away a lot earlier. I thought he had a few more years in the tank, and you never know where a guy is mentally.
Well, I thought with Joe, he could have had a few more years in the tank, but I think for him, it would have been at a diminished level, and he would rather walk away at the height of his game than steal money. I hate to use that term, steal money, but I think for Joe, he's a man of integrity, and that was important.
Jay, I'll tell you this, and you have to think where Madison and Cleveland, they're comparable. I mean, so you can get very comfortable. You've been in Madison for 4 years. You come to Cleveland, it's a very comparable setup. And you ingratiate yourself here in the community. You're like, I'm not leaving.
You know what, guys? We're being real disrespectful right now. We're being disrespectful.
What happened?
First of all, let's go get the hat game together. Cursive script. Cursive script, just lay that down. Now,
How many hats you got right now?
thousands.
His gear is tight.
I have a lot of hats too.
And that's a terrific
The gear is
zip
tight.
up.
Yes,
Shout out
we
to
need
my
to talk
mother.
about that
My
later.
mother got this for me. Shout out to Dorothy Bush. She's my stylist. But one thing that I must say is when you get somebody that comes into your home, right, you must reciprocate. I'm a first ballot drinking Hall of Famer.
Oh, wow.
OU Bobcat.
Oh, yeah.
You was in Madison.
Oh, yeah.
He knows, and Ohio State. You did it up big. You did it up big. So,
Wow, you're going to make us look bad here.
He's got a gift.
So first of all, listen, this is old school. Just know this Givenchy, this boy is old. Look how beat it up it is. So I've been doing this for about 10, 15 years, this designer thing. Stop playing me. Listen, I was spending all my money on this. No rent, no nothing.
No question.
So we got to do. We got to get that slow pan. You see, he got the. I believe the one he gave us was 12. I think it was 14 years
Caribbean
age.
cash.
Yeah, see this.
You went
Is that for me?
one.
That's for you, my man. That's 15. There we go.
Thank you.
Well
There you
done,
go.
man.
This is beautiful.
15
good
years.
job at you.
Yeah.
My
That's
man.
a solid
nice.
move, G.
Hey,
I will break this in tonight.
Always reciprocated drink. It's a drink for. Don't be at the bar. Your man get you a drink. You get him a drink.
That's a sly ass move, bro.
Nice.
That is beautiful.
So where are my other gifts?
Yeah, I know. We made us look bad, man.
Don't worry, bro.
That was a joke.
If you're not familiar with what we're talking about, the first time DeQuell was in studio, he brought bottles for everyone.
No.
Except for McNuggets.
Not everyone.
And what happened was Brad wasn't here that
So what
day,
happened?
and that's the bottle that we opened and poured from,
Right.
and McNuggets stole it.
Hey, let's clear the record. Brad, who has that bottle right now?
I do now.
Yeah, you gave it back to him -5 shots.
Oh, we took those shots. So don't put
Filled
that
it up
on
with
me.
water.
Hey, you didn't do a few extra at home?
I swear to God, I didn't touch it. No.
Okay.
That's
I
great.
have to say I haven't had the 15.
Okay.
There you go.
So
Good
this will
choice.
be a new
There we
beginning.
go.
Nice.
The collection.
And hopefully
Well
we
done.
break this in towards the end of the show, maybe.
I think so.
You twist my arm.
do it.
Twist my
Let's
arm.
do it.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I'm down.
Well, I hope that bottle's not a letdown, just like this game could be on
Yeah.
Saturday.
It could be.
Wait a second. Before we move on, I think you need to tell DeQuell what you said before the show.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he was.
He was talking.
Say it.
McNuggets.
You
Yeah,
said you
come
could
on.
say it now because you're friends.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh, that I played basketball on. No. Yeah,
Yeah.
DeQuell, this is. We're cool now. You get this. But we're talking about letdown games. And I said, I'm not sure if DeQuell had a ton of letdown games in his career because they didn't win a ton of games when he was here.
Oh, man, you are so lucky I'm tied up.
All right, so he's going to go first on that.
I said, but then he went to the Colts, and then he did play for
He had a lot of
games that mattered.
That's true.
opportunities for that. Fantasy Friday.
Yeah, right.
Your boy's going to be along with
Yeah.
us here in about 10 minutes. Tyvis is going to join us later in the show for some Buckeye talk and
Yeah.
some Brown talk. And we're doing pre-written headlines. We had a blast with that last
Right.
week.
Yeah.
I understand DeQuell also participates.
And Tyvis,
That's going to be
too,
good. Tyvis wrote
Yeah.
one. And one other thing, McNuggets is so excited. He loves games, and we do too. True or false, big
Yeah.
hit. We love playing games. He says that he's got the best game the Ultimate Cleveland
Yes.
Sports Show has ever
We're
rolled out.
excited about
You've been
that.
hyping it up.
So I mean,
It's good. I promise you guys.
well,
it's
it
good.
better live up because if it doesn't, we're storming the booth.
Are we also
storming the booth?
Are we also going to talk about the fact that I'm the only one that had the Chargers covering last night?
Let's talk about it real quick. Bull was the only one that had Chargers covering last night. Let's move on.
Okay.
That's it.
But did you have? Yeah, you did. You had the under on the throwing yards
Yes.
for Herbert, who, by the way, was a warrior last night.
Yeah.
They did X-rays.
Is he have a broken rib?
It's going to come out today. He's got a couple broken ribs.
Yeah.
Think.
Wow.
Yeah, the
I
way-
think. I mean, that's what a guy looks like. with
Chargers
broken
should have won
ribs.
that
The way
game.
he was
They should
shielding
have won that
himself,
game.
they're
That
like,
pick
yeah,
six was
don't
a
hit me.
14-point play.
Yep.
All right. So that off of your comments, we're going to let DeQuell start. There is some concern, at least in Browns fandom, that this is a perfect trap game. They're coming off a big emotional road win to open the season. The Jets laid an egg. Everything is setting up for a Browns victory, and oftentimes, as you know, that sometimes can surprise everybody. Is this the perfect situation for a trap game in your mind?
I don't know if they're in a position to think about a trap game right now. They haven't proved themselves to play the way we think they should be playing. And you look at Jacoby Brissett, how he had a lot of missed opportunities last week. No, these guys need to understand what the situation is. We're not good enough right now. Listen, you love to win football games in this league. It's very hard to win them. And when you win them, when you miss so many opportunities early, late, defensively, defensive breakdowns late. There was a lot of teaching tape going on this week about what they need to work on, the cover three schemes, just letting guys run free. So I don't think they had time because there was a lot of teaching moments of what happened last week listen, you had a 20-7 lead going in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And you almost blew the game.
Yep.
If it wasn't for a late, flag on Jacoby Brissett and he comes out of nowhere and makes a throw on third down. So, no, I don't think this is a trap game. I think these guys have to be mentally locked in right now because let's face it, the Jets, they have a pretty good defense. And to hold Lamar Jackson to less than 20 yards rushing, the number 1 rushing attack last year.
They held their unit under 70, I believe.
So this is a game, obviously no one expects the Browns to lose, but the Jets are more than capable. They have some guys on the outside, some young, they have Corey Davis, former first-round draft pick. Yeah. They have the Garrett Wilson, I believe.
Buckeye?
Yeah. So he's elusive.
Elijah Moore.
Yeah, Elijah Moore. They have some guys
there.
And the guy that I'm worried about is Michael Carter, the running back.
Right.
Joe Flacco. Listen, Joe Flacco is not. He's not a guy that's going to bring you from behind and wow you throwing the football.
Been in the game.
So he's going to take that check down. He's going to give you what he wants, what the defense is giving him. So from the Brown standpoint, no, this better not be a trap game.
Does anybody think it is a trap game?
So
I don't believe so.
I don't think. I agree with the Quill.
Okay.
See, you can only be in a trap game when you have established yourself as an entity in this league
Right.
that is. I'm guaranteed. I'm thought of to be in a winning position. I don't think the Browns are there yet.
No,
at all.
they're not.
Right.
No.
So there's no way they can be in a trap game. They got to come out and play hard every game. To Quill's point, they almost blew this thing last week very easily.
Yeah.
We were all sitting wherever you were, thinking that this thing was about to go south because we have seen it before.
It did go south.
Right.
Yeah.
And they rescued it.
Right.
Yeah.
So at every game that we come out, until we establish ourselves as one of those teams, we're not like Kansas City where we roll in and they thinking that Kansas City got a chance here.
Yeah.
Every week we got a chance to go down. So you got to play like you have a chance to go down.
Right.
That should change your mentality for every game.
The Browns have one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league right now. That's fact. So they can't take anybody lightly. We know they have a good team around that quarterback, but they're in no position to take anybody lightly. But here's the thing. Joe Flacco has started 17 games since 2018, all right? I've seen these stats. We've posted them a few times. Joe Flacco has killed the Browns. We know it. That's meaningless. He killed the Browns when he was a pretty good player back in the day.
With an all-world defense.
With an excellent team around him.
Yeah.
Great running game, great defense. Since 2018, he's made 17 NFL starts. He's won 2 games. 2 of his last 17 starts. There is no, yes, it's the NFL. The Jets are not, I do think the Jets have some nice skill position players, and they did shut down the Ravens' run last week, all correct. But this game's at home. The crowd is going to be spitting fire. There's no excuse for the Browns to lose this game.
G. Bush, do you have any concerns? Because that was the question. Not is it a trap game?
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns that this could be a trap game?
Man, I'll stay with concerns about trap games. I
I
live
do too.
like these dudes out here. Like I don't like when people chalk up wins or then diminish the win after you play a team and you thought you was gonna win. But think about it. Just last week you should have lost. So that nobody is doing victory laps. And I take everybody back to 2020. The Browns had an opportunity to clinch, get into the playoffs, and not even have to worry about the Steelers game. They come out, they go to New York, and they get outplayed in every facet. Couldn't complete a pass.
Well, there was extenuating circumstances in that game.
I get it, but the league is called extenuating
But their
circumstances.
whole, if you remember, their
was a
entire
COVID.
wide receiving core was wiped out due to COVID.
So here's the thing. This is the thing about the NFL.
Yeah.
You can come out there, you can lose 3 of your best players the first snap.
Yeah, you could.
And that's just what it was going to be. So if the Browns come out here and they play around with them,
Yeah,
they
of course.
They can and will get beat.
Of sure.
I'm with
Absolutely.
you, G. Bush.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it is. I don't feel that they're going to fall into the trap, but I think the trap is set. And here's what that means. You're coming off a big emotional win where all of your focus for the entire offseason was on Carolina. Everything they did. We can't lose this game.
That's true.
It was their week 1 Super Bowl.
I get it.
So a trap game is you're so invested in the prior game that you're not able to quickly reload, refocus, and get ready for the next team. And you said something that I'll jump on. Later in the show, we're all going to give our picks. We're all picking the Browns to cover. The spread's 6.5. Yeah. We are all in agreement. Win, 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 win. All the experts on Sunday before the game, win, Browns, 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 Browns. Across the board. That always scares me. It always scares me.
You guys are living in your fears. You're living in your fears.
Listen, to that point, I don't think the trap is going to be sprung.
Yeah.
But I think the trap is set. So for that reason, I would say, yeah, I do have some concerns. But to Quell, your point was the one that I'll really focus in on. And you made this too. They haven't done anything.
No.
They shouldn't be taking victory laps. They should not be listening to the experts saying, you're going to win, you're going to win. Because internally they know that they had 2 huge breakdowns.
Yes.
And we talked about this on Monday. The Browns also watched the Panthers defense have breakdowns, and we didn't take advantage of them. Joe Flacco is a lot of things.
Right.
Joe Flacco will take advantage of completely busted coverage, just like Baker Mayfield did. Most of your NFL quarterbacks, when the coverage is blown that badly, they're going to strike. So this defense is capable of doing that. We know last year the first 8 games was what we saw in Carolina. The pieces are there, but there's weird wires that don't get connected, and you're scratching your head going, how in the world did this defense just do that? So they're capable of doing that again. I don't think they will, but it's there.
In terms of press clippings, though, everybody's picking the Browns to win this week, fine, but it's not like going to be picked. Most people across the board are not picking the Browns to make the playoffs. It's not like the Browns are getting overhyped based on pulling out a win against Carolina. So I'm just speaking
to
back up your trap point. They are playing the Steelers on a short week next week.
That one really scares me. Yeah, that one really scares me.
Thursday night game, obviously.
Yeah, but it's home, thankfully.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we don't know what T.J. Watt's going to look like. T.J.'s out, right?
He's on
out.
He will not play Sunday.
So we don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. Have you ever had that pec injury?
Yeah, I've had 2.
Okay, so then you can speak to that. So, the guys that I've talked to that have had it said when you're playing with it instead of getting it fixed, you know it's there, you're not the same guy, and it's not far from being torn completely.
It is the worst possible situation to be in from a defensive player standpoint because you have to wrap a guy, you have to shed a guy, you have to rip a guy, and basically, I tried it. My first pectoral tear, I tore it off the bone, so I knew right away. And, a big knot happens right here underneath
where the muscle bunches
your armpit. Yeah. So the second time around, similar situation. It's not torn off the bone. We can rest it for 6 to 8 weeks, revisit it, see how it feels. I did it. I rested it for 6 weeks, came back. The first open field tag off, ripped it off the bone.
And that's exactly what T.J. Watt is in right now. They're saying he needs to rest, but that doesn't heal in 6 or 8 weeks.
He's in that funky situation. If I were him, I know it's early in the season.
Get it done.
Go get a definitive fix right now so you can come back next year, not miss OTAs, not miss
When you had the
workouts.
surgery, how long did it take you to recover?
It was probably 6 to 8 months.
See, so the problem with that, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I know that he's too much of a competitor to do that.
Right.
But let's say he comes back and it's late October and he tears it off the bone. Now it's early November by the time you get it fixed.
Right.
If it is 6 to 8 months, then you're talking about next July before he's even testing it again.
Right. I've never seen a guy be able to come back and finish a season with that situation, with that sort of injury. Now, I'm not a doctor or anything, but just having
especially for a guy like Watt who uses his arms so much.
That's his bread and butter. His hands play.
Crushing injury for the Steelers.
It is.
I don't think they were that good to begin with.
It could change the trajectory of their season.
No doubt.
He's their MVP.
No doubt.
Time to go to Fantasy Friday, right?
It is time for Fantasy Friday. Dave Richard, who will never let us down.
There he is.
Dave. He's playing with a torn pec right now, and you never know.
Are you?
You look great, Dave.
2 of them. Thank you. 2 torn pecs.
Dave, I was talking to a buddy of mine today, and I said the Kansas City Chiefs, in terms of fantasy, have now become what the Patriots were in the Brady-Gronk prime. Whereas, if you think of this great offense, same thing with the Patriots. But from a fantasy perspective, unless you had Brady or Gronk, you didn't want anybody else because you never knew from week to week who was going to be any good. I feel like maybe it's a little prisoner moment because it's only 2 weeks, but I'm confident that it's going to continue, that you can't trust anybody but Mahomes and Kelsey on that team all season for fantasy. Fair or foul?
I think it's fair. I think the one thing you've got to worry about is how often you can feel good about Juju Smith-Schuster, who was pretty good in week 1. And not as good in week 2. And the theory that I floated before the season when it came to Juju was that when he plays a team that runs more man coverage, he's going to struggle because he can't separate. But when it's zone coverage, he can get open. A lot of receivers can get open against zone coverage. Allen Robinson got open versus zone coverage. So I think that that's the factor that you look for with him. And I'm not sure if any of the other receivers are really reliable in that regard, no matter what the coverage is. The one guy that I think we've got to really keep an eye on is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's been so explosive in these first 2 games. A lot of great opportunities in these first 2 games, but he's not getting the workload that we like to see in these first 2 games. So when does that change? I think he's still startable, Bull, because you know as well as anybody, there aren't a lot of running backs that are great week to week, and they get guaranteed touches from week to week. So even if he's not getting more than 10, 12 touches per week, he's still putting up good numbers with them for now. I think fantasy managers can trust that.
Now, Dave, I'll tell you what, you mentioned running backs, not sure whether or not you're going to get the touches week to week. For the people out there that either have Dillon or Aaron Jones for the Packers, I mean, what are you doing? These guys are splitting carries. Some people draft Aaron Jones really high. He's sitting there now, and you're like, should I sit him? They're struggling. You would think he would get the touches with Aaron Rodgers and the lack of a passing game or familiar targets. But if you got Dillon or Aaron Jones, what's some advice for those people out there that need to pick one or the other?
Oh, if they have to pick one or the other, that's going to be tough from week to week. I think for now, Jones is still the right answer, even though Dillon was better in week number 1. But if you've got one of these guys, the advice is to keep starting them. I think they're number 2 fantasy running backs, both of them, until further notice. And I love the matchup for them this week against Chicago. That offensive line should be in better shape. Rodgers is going to do his thing. They might get Allen Lazard back. Hey, that'll help keep the safeties out of the box a little bit in that matchup. But they're both really talented players, and I think the Packers want to lean on them as much as they can. But they don't have to do it every single play. So there's not going to be many weeks where they're both getting 15 touches. I think they might be in the same boat as Edwards-Helaire, but they both have that explosiveness to them, that potential to get fantasy points, and that's why you start them from week to week. You just can't do it with expectations of them being a top 10 running back, at least not until one of them misses playing time. And then the other one, oh my goodness, the other one would be amazing.
Hey, Dave, what do you see off the Detroit Lions team? I got to watch them play last week, and pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I thought they had not much, but I think I'm fooling myself here. They got a couple things that are working in the background, working pretty hard here.
They've got a running back in DeAndre Swift who makes great plays out of the backfield and has great explosiveness as well. But they need to watch just how much work they give him, because he had this great game and then he's missed the first 2 days of practice with an ankle injury, and he's promising everybody that he'll play. Hopefully that's the case, but the Lions are going to be smart about using him, and you'll see a little bit more of Jamal Williams in that backfield from game to game, probably more than people who have DeAndre Swift would like, but that upside makes him a must-start fantasy running back. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is their slot receiver. He's basically their short area receiver. And I was writing him off in the preseason because he's not going to get 30% of the targets from Jared Goff. He's not going to be a big play guy. He's not going to get red zone targets. Well, in week 1, he made me look silly. He had over 30% of the target share. He scored a touchdown. Brad, you saw it. This is their best wide receiver, and that's saying something because DJ Chark is there and TJ Hawkinson's still on the roster, and they're eventually going to get Jamison Williams. It's weird. We don't usually expect the Lions to be great offensively, especially not without somebody like Matthew Stafford there. But I think that they've got some good stuff cooking in that offense, and fantasy managers can actually rely on St. Brown and rely on Swift, and I think they can still rely on Hawkinson too. And those 3 guys are going to be really good for fantasy managers for the foreseeable future.
Dave, I got a couple of backup running backs that I love and I think should be playing more than the starter on this team. One is
Khalil Herbert is one of them.
Khalil Herbert he was going to be my second guy. I love Khalil Herbert. I think he's better than David Montgomery. And Tony Pollard. Anybody watching the Cowboys knows Tony Pollard right now is much more explosive than Ezekiel Elliott. But Jerry Jones is probably affecting that situation. What do you make of those guys? What are you doing with those 2 guys right now?
Yeah, Jerry might be affecting it a little bit. You're still starting Zeke ahead of Pollard, and you're keeping Pollard on your bench. Do not cut him just because he had a bad game in week 1. Eventually, something will happen where that'll flip, and you'll see Tony Pollard there. I think the flip in Chicago could happen as soon as this week. Their scheme, they like to run inside and outside zone a lot. Herbert's way better for that type of scheme than David Montgomery is. His EPA per rush attempt was like double that of David Montgomery's. It was really good. Montgomery's was way bad. The Packers had a hard time with that type of scheme last week, and I wonder if Luke Getsy, who's the offensive play caller for Chicago, notices that with his old team, the Packers, and he knows how to go against that team because he was there last year, practice against them 3 times a week last year. I wonder if he starts to lean on Herbert a little bit more. Bull, Herbert is still available in like 45% of CBS Sports leagues.
It's crazy to me.
Go get him and put him on your bench right now. Everybody in the studio, everybody watching, Go make a beeline. Go put him on your bench. He will matter at some point this year.
I've been trying to trade
he might
for
even
him.
be a good enough flex.
He's gone in your league?
In my keeper league, my big money keeper league with deep rosters, I offered some guy, what's his name? MVS for the Chiefs. I can't think of his full name.
Yeah, Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah, I tried to
He's
trade
worth 48 points in Scrabble.
Yeah, right. I offered him for Herbert yesterday before the game, and he didn't do it.
Hey, Dave, before we let you go, and I think Herbert's a great – he's probably would have been one of your answers, but everybody's always looking for that sleeper after week 1 that you think is poised to have a great season. Who are some guys that are available in the majority of the leagues that you recommend going out and picking up right now, along with Herbert, which I think is a great pick? But
Curtis
what are some other
Samuel,
guys?
we buying him?
Well, I'm buying Curtis Samuel, and he's still out there in a bunch of leagues, especially in PPR leagues. I think he's worth getting. And on that same team, Bull, Logan Thomas, their starting tight end, had a 23% target per route run rate. That's a fancy way of me telling you that he got a lot of targets when he was actually on the field last week. And he had a great receiving average to go along with it. This guy wasn't even practicing football because he was coming back from the ACL in late August. And now here he is, a decent factor in this Commanders passing game. And Carson Wentz has this great track record of leaning on big-bodied receivers. And Thomas has a nice big body. He's a tight end. I think you're going to consider to see him get use in that Washington offense. Is there anybody else that I could come up with? I kind of want to give a sleeper running back because that's always the position. If you can be patient, I think it's worth carrying Tyler Algier, who wasn't even active in week 1 for Atlanta. Yeah. I think he's a good, talented running back. Cordell Patterson, use him while you got him. But he's over 30 years old. He could always break down. And when they do, I think the Falcons have to move to Algier. And one of the veterans that was ahead of Algier on the depth chart, Damian Williams, got hurt in week 1, didn't practice earlier this week for the Falcons, really isn't that great of a running back either. I think Algier can end up stealing some work and being a factor for the Falcons later on this season. You just got to be patient.
All right, very good. McNuggets has a question.
The best fan question.
This is from our YouTube chat from Strong Cleveland fan. McLaurin or DJ Moore this week?
It's DJ Moore, and I know he disappointed you. And everybody raced to get Robbie Anderson off the waiver wire this past week. And listen, I got to tell you, you're going to be disappointed. I like DJ Moore to have a bounce-back game against the Giants.
The funny thing about Anderson was he was the guy that popped off about, I don't want Mayfield.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Big play.
I wonder how he feels about that now. All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Enjoy
Dave.
the fantasy weekend. It's great.
And next week, Dave's with us Wednesdays, just so everybody
moving to
knows
Wednesdays,
before
yeah.
Thursday Night Football.
Nice. All right.
We'll help you with the waiver wire and get everybody. We'll get you some sleepers earlier in the week so that you get them before Bill can get them.
Waiver wire Wednesday. We'll call.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Later, guys. Good luck.
All right.
Thank you.
It's time.
Go ahead.
It better be good.
There we go.
I promise it is.
It better
Mikey's
be good.
never let us down. I'll give him that on these games.
Usually when he hypes something like this, it's pretty good.
He does deliver.
It is good, and I don't like to overhype stuff, just like I never overhype Built Bars. I'm telling you guys, if you have not tried a Built Bar yet, DeQuell, if you had a Built Bar,
I have not.
I'm going to get you hooked up with Built Bar.
Yeah,
You're going to go from
here you
being yoked to super yoked,
still
bodybuilder status back in your playing days.
We
They
still
have
waiting.
15 grams of protein. That's like 3 bites of steak. And only 160 calories, which is nothing. You burn that off in like a 10-minute walk up the stairs. Just go to our offices on the second floor. You burn 160 calories. I had the chocolate chip cookie dough chunk puffs today. Unbelievable. Whether you're a max player like Myles Garrett, retired like DeQuell, washed up like me, it doesn't matter. You could use promo code LOCKDOWN15 for 15% off at Built.com. Go get your Built Bars today. All right, guys.
Doesn't washed up mean you at some point had a career?
I at some point had a career.
As an athlete?
He did. He played college basketball.
Haters going to hate.
He's ahead of 99% of the population. More than that.
That's a lot.
Thank you, Jay.
Listen, I pay respect where it's due.
That's right. Bring some Built Bars.
You weren't there by accident. You were there because you had talent.
Thank you.
And you worked hard.
Jay, tell him to bring some Built Bars down here. He said they have in the office or wherever.
You know what I have to say about
curious
that?
to see what it's
That's
about.
some BS right there.
We're never going to get these Built Bars.
We haven't seen these Built Bars yet.
What
He's mad
happened
at me
to
right
Built
now.
Bars?
He's like,
Yeah,
One of these days.
we're going to get there. So here's
All right,
how the
come on.
game works. I think I'm not great at a lot of things. I think I am very good at recycling other people's ideas and turning them into content on the show.
I'm good at stealing things.
So today's
Pretty
game
much.
is Would You Rather?
I like
Browns
that.
quarterback history. So we were looking at Jacoby Brissett
Okay.
and decided to play a game. Would you rather Jacoby Brissett or some of these other guys who you're not going to know based on blind resumes? So we're going to show you a blind resume versus Jacoby Brissett. We're going to see who you take, and after you see the results, we'll see if
Is this
there's
for
the
their
right to choose
careers?
or not. Say it again?
Are these career numbers?
Career numbers,
Okay.
and they had to have started at least 8 games for the Browns.
But is it their career numbers with the Browns only?
Career
or
numbers overall.
Oh, wow.
Because
Well,
like
that's
Jeff
gonna be-
Garcia.
Yeah, that's going to be very
It's
tricky.
gonna make it tough
That's
to
going to
pick.
be very tricky.
Now, these are people they had to start at least 8 games for the Browns. Some of these
Okay.
numbers are atrocious, and some are going to throw you off. So let's
Well,
take.
we've had 70 quarterbacks that have started at
Jack
least 8
alone,
games.
how many
so.
games did he
Well, since
play?
'99. Since
lot.
99.
Yeah, since
There's
99.
17, just so you guys know. There's 17.
No,
All right.
17
Browns.
quarterbacks that have played at least 8 games since
This is
99.
tough.
I don't think.
Let's
they
take
don't
it,
play
Steve. First, would you take Jacoby Brissett or random quarterback number 1?
Well, obviously, I'd take Brissett. Look at the other guy's numbers. They're idiots.
Taking Brissett all day. This guy.
Some of these are
whoever this
easy.
is,
Some of these are going to be a little complicated. We have
Had
to
a
throw
short
some easy
career.
ones in there. Y'all ready to see who it is?
I'm gonna give me Brissett.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm saying
I'm with
Brissett.
Brissett. I'm saying
I'm
with
taking
Brissett.
Brissett
yeah,
too, but this
same.
guy probably went on to have like a brilliant career once he left Cleveland.
No, but he
Can we-
said it's their career stats.
These are career stats.
Oh,
Can we
career
guess who it
stats.
is?
Yeah.
Oh, well, of course. I'm taking Jacoby Brissett.
Let's see who it is, Steve.
I bet it is.
Jacoby Brissett is better than Doug Peterson. 1 for 1.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that. That's news to me.
Let's go to number 2, Steve.
That's news
Listen,
to me.
there's 16 more. Some of these are very easy. Some of these you're going to have to really think about it. Like this one. Jacoby Brissett or option number 2?
That guy played a long time.
Very long time. That
How
could
did he play that long with that low a percentage?
You know, back in the day,
They
like
had
the
long-
Vinny Testaverde days. Now we're talking 99 and
that
beyond,
might
right?
be-
By the way,
That might be.
That
I
might
know.
be-
You look at this-
Vinny.
Yeah.
you look at the statistics of Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Joe Namath,
Oh, yeah.
Bradshaw back in those days.
Sure, 55% was great.
And they had more interceptions than touchdowns. However, he said they have had to have played for the Browns since '99.
Right,
So
and-
this
and
guy
that's
can't
a
go
very-
back that long.
Yeah.
But it could have been a player that wrapped up his career with the Browns and
It's
maybe
the tricky
played.
one,
I
I'm
don't
telling
think
you.
we're going to get more stat line from any other quarterbacks
Yeah.
going to get. So I think I'm taking this.
I'm taking the question mark,
I'm
too.
taking the question mark.
unknown
Let's
player.
reveal
Because
who
it's
this
gonna be-
I'm
it's-
taking Jacoby. I'm going with Jacoby.
I'm taking unknown.
survey says Super Bowl winner.
I'll take Trent.
Dilfer.
I'll take
Yeah,
Trent.
I'll take Trent.
Yeah, I'll
I
take
will
Trent.
definitely take
Dilfer
Trent.
sucked.
No,
He's got a
hey,
Super Bowl.
He won a
Any
Super
other
Bowl.
quarterback would have won the Super Bowl that
You know
year.
what? I'll tell you, the misnomer about Trent
Yeah.
was, I was in Tampa when he was around.
Yeah.
The very first game ever at Raymond James Stadium,
Ooh,
he
Raymond
threw a
James.
pick in the third quarter, across his body, bad throw, never should have made it. He got booed, almost out of the building. He oddly was not as bad as the Buccaneers fans made him out to be. They just had a great team then.
Didn't he throw
His
more picks than
defense was good.
touchdowns that
Well,
year?
I mean, he did for his career too. But give me Trent over.
Yes, I lived down in Tampa.
I don't know.
I'm taking
I do
Trent.
not
I'm taking
know.
That Buccaneer team have won the Super Bowl with pretty much any starting quarterback that year.
Probably.
Yes. He just happened to be there.
Probably.
Brad Johnson was pretty good. Brad Johnson, when the Bucs won the Super Bowl, Brad Johnson was their quarterback.
Oh, wait.
Trent won with the
with the Ravens.
Yeah,
That's
Trent
right.
won the
My
Ravens.
bad. So the
Yes.
Ravens.
That's okay.
Bull could have won with the Ravens.
Even better. The Ravens defense was even better than that.
It was.
Bucs
It was
defense.
all-time historically
But
great.
he was a star in his role. You have to give him that.
Yeah,
didn't
he
try to do
understood.
anything he wasn't capable
And
of
by the
doing.
way,
And
most of those
it resulted in the
interceptions, I
Super
would
Bowl.
say,
Yeah.
probably came with the Buccaneers early in his career when they had
Oh,
no
no doubt.
offensive parts.
No
Because he
doubt
was
about it.
creamsicle Buck.
Yeah.
You know, he
Yeah,
came over
I was in the
before-
stadium,
He actually
Raymond
was.
James Stadium, watching Trent Dilfer as a child play, and I didn't like him then, but I grew to love him.
Yeah.
To respect his game.
Well,
let's say that.
you know what? I remember
People in Tampa did not like
I
him
remember
as a
when
football.
he came back to Tampa. He won his Super Bowl in Raymond James Stadium,
Yep. Yep.
where he was booed out of town,
Right.
literally booed out of town.
Right.
And I remember after the game, I interviewed him and I asked him, "This has to be poetic justice." I mean, you would expect at that point he's going to dance on all of Tampa fans.
Right.
And he said, "No, it's not. I won a Super Bowl. I don't care who it was against, what city it was in. It's a Super Bowl."
I don't know, Bull.
By the way, he only started 8 games that year for Baltimore in the regular season. He completed 59% of his passes, 12 touch-downs, 11 picks.
That's exactly
don't
what I would
know,
expect him to
Bull.
do. That's
I
exactly what
think they
would
win the
Give
Super
me
Bowl with
I'm
any
taking-
quarterback that
Hey,
year.
give me Jacoby Brissett.
I'm
I
taking
ain't playing
Trent.
with
That
you,
was
Bill.
Wow.
I'm taking
Give me
Trent.
Brissett.
Yeah, I'm taking Brissett too.
Brissett.
That defense.
Brad, who you taking?
I'm taking Trent.
Because
Yeah,
that
I'm
you
taking-
break the tie, so it's 3 for
Where
Trent.
does that defense rank?
And I-
Second best all time?
What, the Bucs or the Ravens?
The Ravens.
Ravens was probably
Probably.
second best with the 85 Bears.
Nobody's better than the
I
85
have to
Bears.
give a
No,
nod.
I don't think so.
I have to give a nod to somebody who won a Super Bowl. Right, that's worth
Yeah.
something to me.
Yeah, I
right?
agree. I agree. He's piloted it
All
to
right,
a
I'm with you on
big
Jacoby.
spot.
And they had prime Jamal Lewis.
I don't care.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
We got
matter.
15 more
He
of
was
these
a
guys.
star
So
in
Okay,
his role.
15
keep
more.
it moving. This next one should not be as long. Maybe
Yeah,
an
of
easier
course not.
choice. Jacoby Brissett versus mystery candidate number 3.
I'm going to take Jacoby.
I'm gonna take Brissett.
Brissett
Yeah,
for
I don't
me.
like that. That touchdown to interception ratio is garbage. I can't
Yeah,
have 2-to-1 picks.
Yeah, no.
This is career too.
This is career, yeah.
Just the constructive criticism,
Is this,
I would have
Texas
done
A&M?
just the Brown stats.
Johnny
But
Manziel?
then
Johnny
Brissett only had
Manziel?
1 touchdown,
No,
no
I don't think.
interceptions.
I don't
He
think
had
Manziel threw that
4,000.
many
Well, but
touchdowns.
for Brissett, you could have put all the stats and the mystery guys, because
Yeah.
that would have misled us more on a couple of guys.
Well, wait till we get to the
All
end.
right.
I'm saving the best ones
All
for
right.
the end. This is
Fair
someone
enough.
DeQuell actually played with. Let's see.
Okay.
Is that Brady
That's,
Quinn?
I mean, the gamut.
It could be Brady.
You played with somebody. You
Let's
want to
see
guess who it is?
Okay, let's.
Oh, we'll let you guess the
Charlie
next
Fry.
Charlie Fry.
one.
Brady
You got any
Quinn
Charlie
didn't
Fry
play
stories,
that
DeQuell?
long.
What's that?
29 touchdowns.
You got any Charlie Fry stories?
Charlie Fry thought he was better than he actually was. That's guys.
Wow,
you know,
shots fired.
Oh yeah, man. I was young.
Talking about
at the
Baker or
time.
Charlie Fry?
No, Charlie Fry.
Oh, okay.
We didn't really get off on a good start. When I got to the building.
What happened? Anything you want to share?
thought he was hot shit?
I didn't think he was as good as he thought he was.
Yeah, you had to tell
and
him.
he walked around
You
the
had-
building
you had
as
to tell
if
him. You had
he
to let
was
him
the
know.
guy, and we had a conversation.
Did he want
once,
that
and-
smoke?
Nah.
He ain't want that
Wait,
smoke.
you had a conversation where
Nah, it was some back and forth, but
G,
he brushed it off. I was young, I didn't know what I was doing, but ultimately I was right.
Oh no, you
Because
knew
he-
you
I
knew
didn't
what
think
you
he
was
was
doing.
good
You got him up out of there.
G,
Halftime, you're
no
done.
smoke.
No,
No
he didn't want
smoke.
none at all.
Is there anything worse than the guy who thinks he's the guy when he's not the guy?
That's what rubbed me the wrong. I was like, come
Charlie
on.
Fry was the end of the MAC quarterback that was actually dope. Like they used to draft MAC quarterbers in the first round, and they'd come ball. He was the last
you
one.
had
That was like,
Roethlisberger,
Yeah.
you had Pennington,
Yeah.
you had your
He
boy,
ruined it for him.
your
Leftwich.
twin, Byron Leftwich.
Gradkowski played. He got drafted. Even Charlie Batch was it.
By the way, we
Yeah.
need a split screen of G and Byron Leftwich both wearing baseball caps.
Skinny. We need the really skinny G.
If you get skinny G Bush, like 250 G Bush,
But especially, you got to have the baseball cap.
Baseball
With the
backwards?
baseball cap, you really look much
DeQuell,
more
you were
alike.
here when he told the story earlier this week. Back in the day, he went into a club and they started announcing, "Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Byron Leftwich is in the building." So the whole night,
a whole
he
walkthrough.
was Byron Leftwich. He got VIP service,
bottle
he got
service,
security.
everything.
You know what would have been really
You gotta
good?
take
If
advantage
Byron
of that.
Leftwich had walked in,
No, it would have been really good if some of the big guys in the bar were picking you up and taking you from place to place.
But here's the thing,
great
though.
reference.
Here's the thing. The bad part about it is
Yeah.
when you go through there, when they announce who you is, there was some unsurly guys in there, and they looking at you like you got the bag, and you don't have the bag at all, and you don't have security at all. So it's like, yeah,
you're in a rough
The
spot.
anti-bag.
This better work out.
Yeah, this better work out. 145. We ain't letting the lights catch us.
All right, let's get to the
All
next
right,
one
next
here,
one.
guys. This one is a close one. Jacoby Brissett versus candidate number 4.
That's a lot
You know
of
what?
touchdowns.
Derek Anderson.
Lot.
Is it someone I played with?
It could be Derek.
No, this is not someone you played
It
with.
could be Derek Anderson.
Yeah. He had a really good year,
I'm gonna.
I feel like that
2007.
39.
I'm gonna take the uncertain.
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna take the uncertainty.
Same.
that could.
I'm taking
I
that.
think of a quarterback recent. I feel like it's a quarterback that recently played for the Browns, very recently.
I'm taking the uncertain.
But I'm still
know
going
what?
with Jacoby.
Let's see it,
No,
Steve.
I'm taking question mark.
No,
Kelly
not that
Holcomb.
recently.
Yeah.
Kelly Holcomb.
Holcomb.
Hey, I'm taking Kelly Holcomb.
He wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Over Jacoby
I'm
Brissett?
taking-
Yes.
Yeah.
Kelly Holcomb in that playbook, you go back and watch them games. They used to run a teacup formation with all them like Quincy Morgans and Andre
Yeah,
Davis
that's true, they did.
and Dennis Northcutt. They was moving out there.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
they was putting points on the board, and I never will forget.
true.
Hey, listen, you dropped that punt in Pittsburgh. We had
Northcutt?
them dead. Dennis Northcutt dropped that punt. They was dead.
And it's sad too because Northcutt had a great game
balled that
otherwise.
game. Other than that,
Otherwise, he had a
I've
great
seen many
game.
highlights of that
Oh
game.
my
Yeah.
God.
He was my teammate once in a while.
All right.
Great guy.
Let's go to the next one.
Let's go, Mikey.
Jacoby Brissett versus mystery candidate number 5.
It's a lot of yards.
Yeah.
Tim Rath.
Could that be Brandon Whedon? Nah, he didn't throw that many touchdowns.
Nah, I don't.
I'm taking the question mark.
Same. That's a lot of
I'm
touchdowns.
taking Jacoby. I'm taking Jacoby over all these guys.
No, I'm taking question
I'm
mark.
out of my mind.
Could that?
I'm on the question
I
mark.
think Tim Couch had. Did Tim have more touchdowns?
No.
He didn't have
Did-
more.
Oh,
no, I know
career?
he had more picks than
Yeah.
interceptions
He had
or
more yards.
touchdowns.
I
That might
thought he
be
had
Tim
more
That
Couch.
might
yards
be
than that.
Tim Couch,
Let's see.
but I'm taking the question mark.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Derek Anderson.
Derek Anderson.
Oh, I'm taking
yeah.
Derek
You know what?
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
taking DA.
I think
All day.
if Derek Anderson was in this offense right now, like Derek Anderson in his Pro Bowl season,
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I know that was an anomaly for him, but
Yes.
the year he went 10-6 and we missed the playoffs, if you could put that guy in this
Yeah.
offense, holy cow.
Yeah, I'm
You
taking
might-
DA.
How did how is he
Championship
so
game.
good? You don't see that in football.
You really
like
don't.
You see that in baseball sometimes.
guys
a
will
guy
have
has
one
a great
fluky
year and
season.
that's it. But like that guy was so good that one year, and the rest of his career he's nothing.
There was a lot of guys made the Pro Bowl.
Yes,
yeah. Kellen Winslow was playing at a high level.
Braylon Edwards paid out of his mind.
Jamal Lewis.
Braylon Edwards have a ton of touchdowns that year.
He made the Pro Bowl.
I think he did.
I think he had 17 touchdowns.
I think there was a year where he had more
Cribbs
touchdowns
played a
than
lot
games.
of offense that
Cribbs,
year.
Give me DA all day long.
I would say
same. He's a gunslinger.
I think you definitely have to take DA there.
Yep.
These next couple we're going to run through quick, pretty easy here, but we want to include everybody. Do you guys know who this terrible Browns quarterback is?
That could be Johnny Manziel.
Yeah,
No, Johnny Manziel's coming. You'll know when it's Johnny Manziel.
That's Brandon Whedon.
Incorrect.
Not Colt McCoy, right?
Brady Quinn.
It is Brady Quinn.
Yeah,
that is
Brady
Brady
Quinn.
Quinn. We'll move on from that.
I'm taking Jacoby.
He's a first-round pick and did not play.
I know.
all
Man,
that
he
much.
looked the part. Brady.
Now you played with him, right?
Yeah.
Now how did that move with Derek Anderson and Brady Quinn? Because Brady came in looking like a stud.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember when Derek Anderson was playing. 2007 was his breakout year. 2008, I believe that's the year we drafted Brady Quinn, and Derek Anderson ended up getting hurt. And I heard the crowd just like go crazy. They
wanted to see Brady.
They wanted to see Brady.
Yeah.
But Brady, I think he didn't trust his arm strength. Whatever it is, he looked the part. Took care of his body. Looked like a model, for Christ's sake.
He sounds different on College Day.
Oh, he's very knowledgeable about the
he does a
game.
great
It's
job
just
on TV.
something didn't transition from college to
Was
the
he
pros.
too muscle bound? I always thought that he felt like he should
He
look
looked
like a
like
linebacker, a lot like Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
the throwing motion is impeded by all of the shoulder bulk, and that's why you never see a pitcher walk out there looking like that.
But
You've got to be flexible.
He
But
didn't
you
have
think
the
it's in the head with him?
I think it was in his head sometimes
Yeah.
because for whatever reason he didn't want to screw up and he just checked that. We used to call him check down Charlie, and he didn't. I think he didn't have the arm strength to drive the ball down the field, push it down the field the way the offense was geared. But
wouldn't they know that when they draft people? Wouldn't they
You would
know
think.
that?
But you never know what's in a guy's head,
it's
right?
different
But
for,
you would know.
Well, the arm strength thing. Yeah.
You can see that.
That's the always danger of drafting guys from Notre Dame. I know they do play 3 or 4 really good teams, but they have 6 or 7 games where they could roll out there with their backups.
Doesn't
crush them.
Ohio State do the same thing?
Well, at least Ohio State's in a conference where, you might get a year where Wisconsin and Iowa are both great, and Penn State and Michigan are always going to be great. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of guys from Notre Dame. Manti Te'o's another one. There's a lot of guys that look the part on the college football field, and they've had a lot of guys that have had success too, but
They
I'm just a little leery
They
of it.
played Michigan, Stanford every year. They was getting Naval Academy, playing Air Force every year.
and for a
Not
quarterback,
impressed.
you go from having guys wide open, from Notre Dame to now you have to throw guys open. That's a big transition sometimes for college quarterbacks. And
But ultimately,
unfortunately,
We're all taking
pull it
Jacoby
together.
over Brady Quinn, right?
Yes. But ultimately, with any sport, whenever you draft a player, the one thing you never know for sure is what's his makeup.
Yeah, that's true.
How much does he love playing versus wanting
Plus,
to get paid?
I think the Cleveland, it
it's
was a
pressure.
lot. It was a lot of pressure on him, man.
Yeah.
Pressure on quarterbacks here when you've had no good quarterbacks. Yeah.
Especially here, yeah. Okay, next.
These stats are real for someone who started 8 games. I promise you. This
That's Johnny
mystery
Manziel.
quarterback,
Is that
that's
John-
8+ starts in the NFL.
I don't even think
Is that
he had-
Manziel? I thought
don't
Manziel
think-
had more interceptions.
I don't
than
think. I
touchdowns.
don't think.
I
don't think he had.
No, that's not
games.
Manziel.
Josh Johnson?
Not Josh Johnson.
It's not Whedon. I keep saying Whedon. It's
think I
not,
played with him with the Colts.
It's not Tyrod Taylor. He didn't
No,
play
no.
games
Did I
there.
play with him? Do you know?
You did not play with him, no.
Oh, no. It's not.
Who barely played in the league? Oh, no, Deshaun Kaiser.
Let's take it, Steve. Let's
Let's
end
see
this
what we
mystery. It's Cody Kessler.
Oh, no, I would have never
Cody
guessed.
Kessler threw
Never.
more.
Hey,
Those
by the way,
were the worst uniforms.
by the way, I almost did like threw away my fandom because of them years. Like I hated the uniforms.
Yeah.
I hated them quarterbacks. I didn't like they was force feeding these bombs. They was running around with playing Wildcat. They had Wildcat the whole game. I saw them just put Terrell Pryor back there and then have him go catch a pass. It was bad, bro.
It was like high school offense.
It was
those
high
years.
school.
Well, we hired a high school coach. I mean,
Speaking of high school offense, let's get this next guy. Another doozy of a former Browns quarterback. Can you
You
guess
know
this?
who that is. Throw it up. That's him right there.
is that Manziel?
Yeah.
That is Manziel.
That's him.
Yeah.
7 and 6.
That's
Johnny
him.
football, baby.
That was a bad pick from the start.
Oh my God.
just something about watching him play that. I was like, he is not the person Cleveland needs at the helm playing quarterback.
By the way, he's the greatest.
The stories I could tell you.
He's the greatest.
Guy. I got to tell you guys all.
He's the greatest scandal of all time. He made Joe Namath look light. Like, you got to think about this. This man literally went before a game to Vegas with a disguise on.
And an alias.
With a nose and a pair of glasses that detach. And he was
That's
out
amazing.
there. This is facts. How you can't even make this up?
No. Only in Cleveland.
And there were people defending him when he was doing all the shenanigans before the season. Like, come on, he's a young kid. Give him a. He's the quarterback of your team.
Him and Josh Gordon getting started on a plane. They had to give him a breathalyzer. Like, bro, you drunk? Yeah, I'm drunk. I'm drunk and high. And they didn't hide it. They didn't hide it, bro. This is crazy.
Gee, what's up with the nose and the glasses?
The nose. The nose and the
McNuggets, can you tag board
a pair of glasses with the nose.
Picture of Johnny Manziel with his alias when he went to Las Vegas?
He got mad.
Give us a second.
Wasn't it before a Steelers game? I want to say it was before a Steelers game.
But it was bad.
Was it? He went to the MGM.
He was out there.
That's what Kyle Shanahan. You got to think that's what Kyle Shanahan before the Falcons game. Like, you know, they got what's the name to come back. They got Josh Gordon to come back. They just say, look. Josh Gordon was just running straight, no routes. They call a slant, he just runs straight. And then you got Farmer telling them you got to put Johnny Manziel in the game.
Called down to the sidelines.
Have you ever?
No.
Where is Farmer at these days?
Oh, man.
I have no idea.
I got a lot of respect for Farmer.
Do you?
Yeah, he let me walk out, you know, when we were going through the whole deal of whether or not I was going to come back. He called me and we had a grown man conversation. I had a ton of respect for him, but he
when did you get cut that year?
2014.
But when was it?
Like February 2014.
So it was right before they drafted Manziel.
Yes.
Right.
Oh no! If I was in the locker room with Manziel,
How would you have handled
I wouldn't be able to talk about it. That's how I would have handled it.
He would have slapped him silly.
They knew they had me. The first thing
Look, there he is. There he is.
Oh my God!
Wow. This you?
Oh my goodness!
By the way,
This will never get old.
We may have asked you about this before, but if Josh Gordon had stayed on the straight and narrow and
make it up.
How good would he have been?
The way we talk about Julio Jones, the way we talk about Devontae Adams, he would have been right in the mix. He had Hall of Fame talent.
Oh,
Hall of Fame talent. Just
what a way.
couldn't pull it
Picture
together.
up against Brad.
That is great.
Brad needs to see that picture one more time.
The starting quarterback of your Cleveland Browns.
Guys, if you think about it, if you had to pick one image that sums up the Browns
since 1999,
there's your image. That's it.
That's painful. That is painful.
The shenanigans.
The first thing they did, they said, we're going to take Johnny. We're going to have to get DeQuell out of here. He's not going to
DeQuell will kill him.
Get him in the office, bro. They stripped down the
What
whole,
was Joe Thomas thinking?
Oh my God.
Oh, I would love to ask him
I need
that.
water.
I got to remind.
I need water.
I'll see
We
him
got to
tomorrow.
ask him that
You
next
know what?
time we have him
Joe
on.
was so positive. I
wouldn't
remember
have said-
when Joe was even talking about him after he was gone.
Yeah.
Joe would never take a shot, and he would still say, he's a young guy. He wasn't ready for the league. Instead of just saying, I'd like to know what he really felt.
Oh,
They
my
wasted.
God.
They wasted. I can't believe they wasted that man's time and best years of his life. The Browns owe him. He should be automatically
bring
on
that
the
back
payroll.
up.
Every year he on the payroll. He should get a check every month. And he just come and
Anthony,
say,
bring that back up.
Yep, that's
Hazard
right.
pay.
There it goes. That's stupid.
That's the Halloween costume. There
I love
it
that
is.
this year.
I would like to put 100 at the MGM down.
Did he win money? Did he actually win some money there? Do we know that?
I would say, based on
don't
his
know.
reckless lifestyle, he lost his ass that day.
Look,
Even if he won, he gave it back the
Zach.
next day or whatever.
How many people do you think were in Vegas recognize, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
We see you.
We see
He's got a game tomorrow against Pittsburgh.
Wow.
See, that's the difference. Can you think about it like this? There's some people in this world, right, that can still do that and still be rich. Think about that.
Well, he was
He-
born
he
on
comes
third
from
and thinks he
money,
hits a
money.
trick. Yeah,
Trust me, he comes
was
from
born
money,
with a
money.
silver spoon in his mouth and
that
thinks he earned
explains
it.
it.
The funny thing was, at some point, how when your boys throw out an idea, and it's a horrible idea, and usually
Right.
someone stands up and says, "No, dog, we can't do that."
No.
Somebody said to Johnny, yo, we should get a private jet
And go to
get out to Vegas. I know we can spend 10 hours, 12 hours on the floor at MGM and still get back in time for kickoff Sunday. At some point, Johnny co-signed that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm good with that.
Johnny's like the guy that runs on the field at a sporting event.
How did
right?
you
Like
miss
that's
that?
him and his buddies.
Like, how did you miss that as a GM and scouting?
Oh my, that's the ultimate.
You know what?
Like, how do you miss that?
Because all the red
immaturity
flags
piece?
were blinking. He had issues before. I mean, it's not like we just figured out that's who he
Plus,
was.
I'll
Wasn't
never
that great of a talent to
No.
overlook all the
And
other issues.
To add to your point, DeQuell, his offensive coordinator, I can't remember his name now in college.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Was he the offensive coordinator?
Well, he was for a minute.
For a year, yeah.
It wasn't Kingsbury. I can't remember what his name was, but we had him on our radio show before the season, like after Johnny Manziel was drafted, before the Browns played.
Okay.
And we were talking about Johnny, and coaches in college never say publicly
They always
anything
protect
bad.
the player.
Ever.
Always.
He was like, he didn't really work that hard. He was, usually you hear with the quarterback, first guy in, last guy out.
right.
He was like, Johnny was the last guy in, first guy out.
And you know the Browns had to be hearing the same thing if they did their due diligence.
We were like, oh my God.
The year Johnny won the Heisman,
Brad,
Cliff
let me
Kingsbury
tell you
was his
this.
offensive
Let me tell you
Maybe it
this.
was Kingsbury. Maybe I forgot that it was Kingsbury. I don't know.
Brad, this is so key. And I'm gonna
Maybe it was the quarterback coach.
I'm going to take this back. I usually say LeBron is the GOAT.
Okay.
The reason why Michael Jordan is the GOAT is not only did he run
He
the
pulled
team.
off that Vegas trip.
He said, let me go to Phil Jackson. And he got Dennis Rodman the Vegas trip. And it was nothing. And Dennis can't. How you do that?
And they still won.
And
Dennis
they
Rodman
still
worked
won.
hard. You know, regardless of how you want to, he lived his life. He worked hard.
They knew Rodman needed some outlets. He could not be boxed in here. We had to do some unconventional things to make sure that he was able to
Did I
come
just
back
see
and
that
play.
Shaq just
That's
recently came out and
crazy.
said that Rodman was the worst teammate
I saw,
ever?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
And
Rodman was
and-
crazy.
and-
Shaq's not afraid to say stuff
So
like
I,
that.
I played with Dennis in Detroit
Right.
before Madonna got to him, right?
Yeah.
And I just,
And before the
You're blaming her for him?
No, I just said
80s Madonna.
Let me tell you this about Dennis Rodman. That's a good soul right there.
Yeah, everybody
He's
says that.
He's a good soul, but he's different, right? And so Mike realized that he was different. We can't keep you in this box here. We got to let you do some things. Now, when he got to Vegas, you see it there to go get him. Like, you got to come back here now. We gave you a couple days. Hey, you know,
Carmen Electra out there like he was in the bed. He was out there with Carmen Electra part. I
Having a
said,
ball.
bro, that'll never happen.
I mean, he's visited
again.
with Kim Jong, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
Kim
it's a
Jong-un
different
talking
guy.
about
He was going to
now
see-
he wants to go to Russia and talk to
He was gonna
Putin.
see
He probably fixed that too.
He's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest party of all
Rodman,
time.
man. Best rebounder ever, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next,
Best
I
rebounder
believe
ever.
DeQuell played with this quarterback for a year. This is mystery candidate number 9.
Oh,
I'm
that's
taking- I'm
easy.
taking
That's
question
easy.
mark all day long.
Went to the Super Bowl, right? For Jake Delhomme.
I'll take him all day long.
16,000 for
No,
Jake.
he probably
Jake-
had more
He
than
had
that.
more than that.
He had more than that. That's
Yeah.
not
87 touchdowns and 6
Oh,
interceptions.
Did you ever play with Jeff Garcia?
no.
That
No.
might
Who's
be
a
Garcia.
veteran?
Jeff
That might
Garcia
be
got more than
Garcia.
that.
I didn't play
He
with
got
him.
a little more
Garcia.
than that.
Garcia.
Let's
yeah,
see it.
Garcia
I'm going
also-
mystery guy.
Jason Campbell.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Man, I had no
87?
idea he had 87 touchdowns.
Remember that one year with the Raiders? He had a great first half. They started like 6-2,
That's
7-1.
right. That's right.
And then he got hurt, and they traded for Carson Palmer.
Yep.
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 But he had
that's
gotten
right.
off to a great start. He's a good guy.
Did he
Do
play
you
for
know
the
him at all?
Redskins?
Oh yeah. He's a.
I remember
solid
he was
guy.
here.
Redskins
Yeah,
too, and had some
yeah.
years at the Redskins.
Yeah, he was good. He was like he didn't have success here. Nobody really did. But he was real. I remember meeting him. He was really awesome.
I had to say this. I mean, some of these dudes, I don't even remember them being.
Oh, you'll
been a long
definitely
ride.
remember the next
That's how long the ride is. Like,
You've tried to forget, Fred.
dude is here.
Yeah, you know what? You're better at putting that garbage out of your mind than some of us.
You will
about it.
certainly remember the next one. Maybe not for good reasons, but will you take Mystery Man number 10?
No.
No.
No, I'm not taking that either.
Take him
That
to
looked like
the
Josh McCown.
That's a smart call because I don't think you guys want. Let's see it, Steve.
No,
Brandon,
God,
Brandon,
no.
Brandon.
By the way, I was guessing
was
Wheaton for every
28.
other one, and the
Yes,
one
you
time
were.
I didn't.
That's my.
I
buddy,
can't
too,
believe
man.
he's got more
That's your buddy.
touchdowns than
Yeah,
picks.
man. Good dude.
Yeah, by
Yeah,
one.
good, solid dude.
Good
man.
side.
Just-
Was he?
Just gonna play dead at the funeral.
By the way, I admitted on this show probably the worst take I've ever had in my entire career.
Thought he was gonna be great.
The second worst take I've ever had in my entire career
he could
was
play
that Brandon
dead at a
Wheaton was going to be great.
funeral.
I thought he was going to be great.
What's the worst take?
The worst take I ever had was very early in my career. I'll admit this. I don't know if I've ever admitted this in Cleveland. It was Ed Reed's rookie year in the NFL.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Lord.
he had a pick. and he was showboating, and he fumbled on the way to the end zone.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I was working in Utica, New York. There was like 82 people listening to me, and I went bananas. What the hell is he doing? I'm cutting his ass if I'm the coach.
Wow. Yeah, you're right. That's an all-time horrible take.
That was the worst take ever.
I mean, I like Manziel. Like coming out of college, I said, bro, you got to understand, I had never seen a 5'10" white dude do that to black people in the SEC.
Right.
He had that kind of swag.
He shredded Alabama's defense.
He was running circles around him.
He was just running around in circles. I'm like, how fast is he? I'm thinking he runs a 4.2 or something. And then he just dropped back and throw the ball to Mike Evans. I'm like, this dude is special.
Let me tell you.
Mike Evans was special.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, well, you're right.
Mike Evans is special.
All right, next one.
These last ones are all close. These are all legitimate ones that I think will give you guys pause. Brissett versus this mystery.
That's
man.
Tim Couch on the right.
Yeah, that is Tim Couch.
I'm going with Tim
and
Couch.
I'll take Tim Couch.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm
1,000%.
mark.
Ruin the fun. That is Tim Couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one, Steve. This is a tough one.
I'll take him.
That ain't tough.
That's Jeff Garcia.
All right, I'll
2-to-1
take it.
touchdown to interception ratio.
I saw the pass yards.
That is Garcia.
Well, in fairness, Jacoby's got a better than 2-to-1.
That's
touchdown.
Garcia.
That's Garcia.
That is
Garcia.
Jeff Garcia.
Yeah,
Let's see it.
Yep.
Officially,
Yeah.
Jeff Garcia. We have
Jeff
4
Garcia
more.
was the best quarterback
Jake?
that played for the Browns, not as a Brown, but
Yeah.
career-wise, since '99.
I'll fight through these last couple. Next one, Steve. Another tough one. Mystery candidate 12.
Yeah.
I'm going with
no.
Brissett.
I'm gonna say
I
no.
think that guy is that guy Brian Hoyer.
That could be.
That could be.
Ooh. I think he played here longer. He
Maybe
had
Hoyer's
33.
touchdown to interception ratio is going to be way better than that.
I think the quote played with this guy. I'm going to double check.
So I guess it's not Brian Hoyer. All right, I'll take Jacoby.
I'm running out of the
It's
guys I
my
played
man
with.
from Notre Dame.
DeQuell did play with this.
Is this Deshaun Kaiser?
No, we skipped Kaiser because no one was going to pick him. We did make graphics, but his touchdown interception
barely
was 10
played.
to 30.
No one was going
I'm
to
running out of options. I thought we used everyone.
Let's see. DeQuell's forgetting his quarterback.
Seneca
It's Colt
Wallace?
McCoy.
Colts.
Colt still drawing a paycheck.
Yes,
Would
he
you
is.
take Colt or Jacoby?
Unbelievable.
I'd take Jacoby.
Bro,
I'm taking Jacoby.
do you see the levels? Like, tell me,
They were all
Baker,
backup quarterbacks.
Colt, and Brian Hoyer. People all was in the cult for all of them. That Brian Hoyer stuff, they was just like, especially when it came to Manziel, but people love.
But to
Colt
Baker's
McCoy.
credit, he at least
He was better. He's better
at
than
least
him.
the starting
Yes.
quarterback as opposed to those guys.
Colt McCoy, he won that game against New England.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. They wanted to anoint him Johnny Unitas.
Oh.
It was it.
No.
They put him in the Hall of Fame, bro.
I remember
Colt-
we did a radio show about paying Brian Hoyer an extension.
Man, I remember watching Colt McCoy and I was like at Texas. And then when I saw him, I said, "This the same dude?"
Remember when he got?
Yeah, he's small, man.
Remember against the Steelers, he got kicked in the head or something.
And his dad. They kept him in the game.
Yeah.
They brought him on the. that really is what started the 10.
Yeah.
Because they brought him to the sidelines, and you could tell on national TV he looked like he needed a standing
Oh, my
8 count.
God.
They brought him to the sideline.
killed
They
him.
hey, what day is it? Okay, back in there.
That
And
was-
his dad
that's
went
how
off.
desperate
What
they
the
were.
hell kind of organization did the Browns
No,
have?
he wasn't kicked. The kick was Antonio Brown
He
kicked
got. He
somebody
was
in the head.
concussed.
But he
wasn't
got
kicked,
he
but
got
he
the
was,
crap kicked
he
out
was
of him
getting
in that
pounded.
game.
And Mohamed Massaquoi got
Yes.
knocked out by James Harrison.
Hey, everybody felt that. Oh my God.
All right,
Rumbled.
who's dirtier, James Harrison or Vontez Burfict?
James Harrison.
I thought Perfect was.
That
hit that he hit. I think he gave Antonio Brown CTE. I really do. That if you chart Antonio Brown's life,
Yes.
after that,
It
and
went off
I
the
met him,
rails.
interviewed him. Listen,
It went off the rails
I
at that
interviewed
point.
him a number of times. If you chart his life, bro, that was the epicenter where it was
Dude,
all downhill.
those
after
games-
that.
those
It's
games-
not funny, but I'm
But
telling
he's
you,
not coherent. He
Those
has not been
games-
coherent since that.
no.
For a couple of years, when the Bengals had Burfict, when they would play the Steelers, there'd be like 8 dirty hits minimum
gosh,
every game.
unbelievable.
Those games were brutal.
But I got to tell you, I enjoyed watching it.
I did.
Oh, my
I loved it
God.
when both those teams knocked one another out.
James Harrison.
Remember the playoff game when Joey Porter went running on the field as a coach?
But that same Colt McCoy
Pac-Man
game,
Jones.
he knocked Josh Cribbs out on a Wildcat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did.
Who got kicked in? Oh, the punter got kicked in the head. Right,
yeah,
right.
it was the punter. You're right.
Was that by Antonio? Was it Antonio Brown that kicked him in the head?
It's right around.
Antonio Brown drop kicked the punter version.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
Antonio Brown kicked the punter in the head. I don't remember who the punter was.
You don't miss a beat.
Oh no, I lived and died with this stuff. I used to sit here on Sunday just rolling around in the bed afterwards. I didn't want to watch no football. These dudes used to. I mean, he kicked him and didn't even care.
No.
And it was like he could have went to the house. He could have avoided the punter. He was just like, no, I'd rather kick you. That's so disrespectful.
We got 3 left here. DeQuell, you played with this next guy too.
I'm running out of
You have
options.
forgotten all your former quarterbacks.
I'm running out of options here.
All the numbers look exactly the same.
I know.
They're only here
we
for
are
2
we are
years.
the
It's all like
epicenter
59% completion.
epicenter of mediocrity.
Seneca Wallace.
It is.
Oh, nice!
Right, finally.
Okay, now this is a
I'm
great
taking
question.
Jacoby.
You know, this is close for me.
I'm taking Seneca.
I think I am
Wow.
too.
He has the
legs.
He's played in big games before. That's the nod.
And am I right? He felt like more of a leader to me than
Oh,
Jacoby.
he definitely was.
I'd take Seneca.
Well, but we don't know if Jacoby. I mean, DeQuell played with Seneca.
No, but
We don't.
we've seen Jacoby with other teams. Like I've always thought that. I know in New England he's not going to emerge as a leader there when he was with the Patriots, but I thought even when he was with the Colts and the Dolphins, he never looked to me like a guy that was going to grab a teammate and let's go.
We thought we could win with Seneca playing quarterback.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was a huge drop off.
Yeah,
We thought we could win.
that
with
same
him.
commentary. I heard that on a talk show about Jacoby Brissett from folks in Miami.
Where they were saying he didn't have that leadership gene.
Saying that what you got is what you see is what you're gonna get. Right?
Yeah.
And this is
Well,
what
that we
this is who he is. Right. And so he was the person that called him was pretty emphatic about this was the case. This is who he is.
DeQuell, before we go to the next one quickly, he was super emotional at the podium last week. He was, I think he was borderline tears.
Yeah.
He was crying.
It was clear how emotional that win was. How does the locker room respond to that? Because I responded very favorably to it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this dude wanted this way more than I even knew.
It's a matter of him being self-aware. He understands he's going to be the reason. He could be the big reason why this team doesn't win games, and he understands what's behind him. He's got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. He's got a really great defense. If he can come out and make 5 good throws, contested throws, and hit the layups. He's got to hit his layups.
Yeah, right.
And if he hits those layups, everything else is butter on toast.
Do you think the locker room reacts favorably to that?
I think he was reacted to everyone around him. Hey man, you got this.
I'm gonna give you a different, another side of the take. If you're in the locker room, you're like, okay, you're compassionate for what he was going through, right?
Sure.
But then on the other side, you're like, okay, I'm gonna need you to lead this thing here, right? And there was a conversation I was having with someone. They said, listen, he's the type of person you're gonna have to come out and get him some easy victories first. Little hits.
Well, the schedule sets up for that.
So coming out, a couple short passes, get you involved in the game right here, right?
Right.
Because you have to keep him engaged.
Get his confidence rolling.
Because if you don't,
that's why I did not understand why he was not playing him in the preseason. He not one of them dudes that come out here and be ready to go, one of them backups. What's the old boy's name? Do you play for the Dolphins?
Earl Morrell.
Man, that's old school.
Ryan,
I got to Google that.
Fitzmagic will come out here and drop.
He's ready to go.
And he's ready to go off the gate. Like, he'll throw you
touchdown, pick, touchdown, pick.
Post-game show?
Pre-
and post-game show? I thought he did a pretty good job.
I liked him.
I liked him a lot.
They should have been playing that, man. They
His
should have
shirt
been
was
playing that,
wild.
man.
By the way,
He's a wild dude.
how good was Herb Street last night?
Phenomenal.
Oh,
Absolutely phenomenal.
Oh my God!
Listen, I don't want to make any promises. I probably shouldn't say this on
He's
the
my
air.
favorite. I told you when we did
He's
the
the best analyst.
Always enjoyed it.
I'm going to try to see if we can get him in studio next week because they're here for the Browns-Steelers game.
Yeah.
Kirk does a good job.
Read Herb Street's book. Read Herb Street's book. It was a bestseller. I have been friends with him for 25 years. I actually pulled him into television when we were in Columbus. He I didn't know, and I knew him well. We worked together for many years. His upbringing was not good. He had a kind of a rough home life, and I never knew that. He never talked about it, but his book is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And my hope is that we can get him either here physically
That'd
in
be
studio.
great.
or at least a couple minutes on the phone.
We're going to see. I'm going to see you get that off. That's
well,
her
listen,
street
when,
now.
when the draft was here, Kirby came on with us on Channel 3.
I was wondering, like,
read his book, bro. He shouts
we
me out
know
on his book.
We know he's a great college football analyst, but you didn't know how he was going to be NFL.
You know what shocked me was the
so
depth
good.
of knowledge that he had on these guys, because he's been so immersed in the college universe.
Yeah.
Kirk's the best at that. I know
you know
Collinsworth is great, but
what I
I'll
like
listen
too
to
is
Kirk
I
any
feel like
day.
so many analysts talk so generically when they're doing games, like give you like, I want to learn something that I don't know as a common fan. Like teach me something.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. Like and he's not like rushing, and he was smooth.
Him and Michaels, I thought the chemistry was well. Like they talked
First
like
time they worked together.
Love it. They
look
great.
like old friends.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Thursday night football, what do you guys think about the different, what was it?
The where they tracked everything.
Prime Vision or whatever.
Yeah.
What you guys think? When I was watching it, it was like glitchy. For a
Yeah,
second.
it was. A lot of people said it was.
They'll figure that out eventually.
Well, you know what? I think it's a platform issue. There was so many.
Right.
Like, if you think about it, like Bam Tech, when they were putting all the baseball games on stream.
Yeah.
That gets blown out of the water by the number of viewers for a Thursday night football game.
Right.
I don't know
more than they ever get, probably.
More than ever, and I don't know if the infrastructure could handle it.
I thought it would. For me, I looked at it like, man, I'm guessing this is gonna be okay. I thought it might be glitchy a little bit, but it was crisp.
It was great, and
it was definitely.
It was like 12K.
Yeah,
4K.
I had you got a 4K TV? I have 4K TV. It was
you can see a blade of grass.
It feels like I watched some baseball games in 4K, man. It feels like you're at the game.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
It's so awesome.
Well, the thing is, if you have a cable provider, in all likelihood, even if you have a 4K television and they're broadcasting in 4K, they're dumbing it down as they're
DirecTV has 4K though.
DirecTV does. I was just going to say DirecTV does, and a lot of other streams come in 4K. So if you have a 4K TV, and Amazon was streaming in 4K,
right.
The first thing I noticed when I turned the game on was, okay, that's what true 4K should look like.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It was just vibrant.
It was
jumped off.
I was watching the Browns because I didn't. When I look at the Browns, I'm like, well, I don't see that kind of.
No,
it looked totally different.
It was awesome.
Did you guys try the channel that they were shooting on, where they had all of the? Where it was
guys.
it was the all 22. The wide shot.
I did not. I'm going to do that next time.
Check that out next week. I don't know that you want to watch it for a full game,
but
I would love to watch every Browns game over with that feature on it.
Yes,
I didn't see that feature.
It was really.
I love all the creativity and like all these new broadcast options.
Yeah,
makes better for the. Right. You don't even need to go to game. I mean, football is so much better at home than at the game.
Football is the only sport I'd rather watch at home.
The teams don't want to hear that.
I don't care about that.
No, I know they don't. But you know what? I think the football is popular enough. They're still going to put 70,000.
But it's the one. It's part of one of the many reasons why the NFL is the most popular sport, because it's the only sport where it's better on TV than in person.
Yeah.
And right? Basketball, you want to be at the court.
You absolutely.
Baseball is good either way, but baseball is just something about being at a game. It's relaxed.
That's an event.
Hockey, much better in person.
Way better.
Not even close. It's a little better now with the new technology, but still. But football, even if you're sitting at the 50-yard line, you still can't see what's going on in the end zone.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
We got two more real quick ones.
Oh, wow.
Then we'll do headlines. And these last two we're going to run through here. But Brissett or this guy?
Give me that guy.
Yeah, give me that guy. Who is that guy?
Played enough to throw 126
that guy should have been playing more in the league.
I'm going question mark guy.
Why was he ever here?
That's Stallone?
Jake Delhomme.
Okay.
Jake Delhomme.
He went to a Super Bowl.
Wait a minute, McNuggets. I don't think he played 8 games.
Yeah, it did.
Jake Delhomme?
Because he got
the Browns?
hurt.
He got paid when I was here, and I don't think he. Oh yeah.
Because Josh McCown came in after him, right? Like
no. He was after Josh McCown.
He got paid?
They paid him. I think he made like, I don't know, $10+ million, and he was hurt.
Wow.
More than he played. I don't know. You got to check that. I got to check your stats on that.
I'm looking at it right now. Hold on.
He played 5 games for the Browns. Bad job out of you, McNuggets.
Yeah, I don't think he played.
He played 10 games.
Not for the Browns.
Yes,
What, in 2 years?
No,
Yes,
he
he did.
played 5 games in 2010. That's it. I'm looking I'm looking at his pro football.
I saw him
reference
a lot
page.
in the training room, and he was cashing big checks.
Let's confirm. Let's go to the last one. I'll confirm this here.
big check energy.
Last one.
Dude, I think every single quarterback you put up pretty much had a 59% completion
It is the
percentage.
epitome of 59%. Yeah, that's what Cleveland does.
Maybe that's
That's a
Brian
good
Hoyer.
touchdown to interception ratio.
I think that's Brian Hoyer.
That might be Hoyer.
Bull is finally right. It took him 16 guesses, but he's finally right.
They were teammates.
I will say this.
Yeah.
if Brian Hoyer does not get injured on Thursday Night Football against the Bills.
Yep. They had gotten off to a good start that year.
He was looking all right.
I remember we were doing a pregame broadcast that year at the Muni lot. Not at the Muni lot, at what's the bar that they do the show from? Barley House. And the fans were at a rabid pace for that game that day. Then it all went down the crap.
They were all
Brandon Whedon took over when he got hurt, right? Was it Brandon Whedon? Or was it Jason Campbell?
It was Jason Campbell.
I don't know. But I would take Brian Hoyer over Jacoby Brissett.
I would too.
Yeah,
I would too.
Yeah, I would definitely.
He's seasoned.
Yep.
So in conclusion, DeQuell, I'm sorry you played with a lot of bad quarterbacks. I'm sorry for that walk down memory lane.
That he did. Not his fault.
It's not his fault, no. But I think, as Bull pointed out eloquently, 59% was the going rate on completion percentages for Browns quarterbers between 1999
I will
and now.
give him credit. I will give him credit. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. You smoking all them dudes.
You didn't put Baker up
You in the Hall of
No, we
Fame.
did not put Baker.
How do you leave out Baker?
Hey,
Because
by the
every time
way,
we put Baker on screen, it turns into you and Jay yelling at each other about
But
Baker.
by the way,
We have a Baker moratorium.
but by the way, I will say this. I think at some point, if he has a long enough career, I think they will put Baker Mayfield in the Ring of Honor.
No, not a chance.
Stop it.
Even Jay doesn't
Not a
agree
chance.
with
He
that.
didn't play long enough. DeQuell's going in way before.
I thought you was already in.
That's never going to
Browns
happen
legend.
He's a Browns legend. I want to see him up in the Ring of
That's never
Honor.
going to happen here.
Oh, well,
Yeah, Baker.
is there a difference between Browns legend and Ring of Honor?
Yes, right? There is.
Yes.
Yeah, here. Kyrie Irving's got a better chance of going to the Ring of Honor.
Well,
All right.
I would put Kyrie
There's
in.
no
before I
doubt
put
Kyrie
Baker in.
Irving should go in the Cavs.
Then Baker Mayfield.
I know
win
people
the
feel bad.
championship.
I know you people are down on Kyrie now,
Right.
but he absolutely needs to be in the Cavs Hall of
Without
Fame or
him, we
whatever
don't
it
win the
is.
championship.
There's no question.
if he keep co-signing Alex Jones, they ain't gonna let him.
Yeah, they ain't gonna let him back in the league.
No problem.
Kyrie, man,
you
get
guys
off the
ready to do
crazy
some
train.
headlines?
But
He can play some basketball.
yeah,
You guys ready to do some headlines?
yeah.
Do him.
Bull, you're up first.
Okay, here we go. Here's my headline. We see it already.
We need some newspaper music.
Jets crash on the lake. Browns rip off 8 sacks. Should have been sacks with an S. And 1 propeller.
Whose is that?
That's mine.
That's impressive.
Drug test Garrett all in New York. What is this?
Drug test Garrett says all in New York.
That's
not mine.
Myles
That was-
Garrett, not Garrett Bush.
That's our boy, all of Cleveland. Yeah, the Jets, listen, we could talk. It's the NFL. I get it. They're all professionals. The difference between the best team and the worst team in the NFL is not anywhere close to where it is in college. I understand this.
Yeah.
The Jets play a really good game, and the Browns take them lightly, don't play well. Jets can certainly win the game. But when I look at these matchups, right, and I say the Browns running game, and I know the Jets run D played well last week. It's not, it's not bad. They played well. But the Ravens don't have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
No, they don't. Let me ask you this: Did the Jets' run defense, play well, or did the game dictate that the Ravens just? I don't know about that.
To be honest, I didn't see much of that game, so I can't give you an honest answer on that. But in the passing game, even with Jacoby Brissett, I don't think the Jets have the players to stay with Amari Cooper. I think there's a little edge there,
Right.
For the Browns, and then certainly the other way, the Jets have some nice skill position players. DeQuell talked about it earlier. But they're young and inexperienced. A lot of high draft picks. Corey Davis is not young, but the rest of the guys are. The Browns have great corners, and right now they're all healthy. And
8 sacks.
the Jets' offensive line is
sacks.
going to get overwhelmed by Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. Their offensive line is worse than the Panthers' offensive line.
Bull, I think what you were saying was Lamar Jackson ain't got a contract yet.
Yeah.
What he's trying to show you.
He was airing it out.
I could put that ball in the
Can
air.
I talk to Lamar for a minute? Lamar, I got a lot of fantasy investment in you, but
I do too.
I need them running yards, okay? I can't be relying on you. If I knew you were only going to pass the ball, I would have drafted you.
He over here
I need
begging.
them running yards. Come on, Lamar.
He begging like he came home too late at night. Baby, please. Baby, please.
Well, this is the number one reason why all former players despise fantasy.
Oh,
and
come
most of them don't play it. Listen, the ones that I've talked to about it, they're like, do you know how many email or social hits I get from people saying,
well, those people are
you
losers.
better. Of course they are.
I'm not real. I would never really reach out to a player and say, help my fantasy
You'd
team.
be stunned.
I mean, I kind of did
How many
there.
people-
But
yeah, you did.
I'm having fun with it.
But, the guys are like, do you think I give a rat's about your
some
fantasy
players do.
team?
You hear some players talk about put me in your
Well,
fantasy
They don't
lineup.
actually care, though.
Maurice
They're just
Jones-Drew
saying.
did.
Now,
Most
come
guys.
on.
Well,
You don't even do it.
He didn't want to do
Yeah,
fantasy.
I don't do it, but it's funny. We were in Mykonos in Greece, and someone from the States knew who I was, and was like, "Yeah, man, you used to pick up a lot of fantasy points for me." And I was like,
Well,
okay,
first of all,
I have no idea.
First of all,
You
most
play
fantasy
defense.
leagues don't have
no
defense.
idea.
But if you
Mine
did
do.
play in a fantasy league that had defense, DeQuell was a good player to have because he used to get a 7,000 tackles.
Yeah,
every
I
year.
don't know how.
You'd be like amongst the league leaders.
You
in
were
tackles
always
every year.
He was the lone bright spot in most Browns games.
It was him,
you'd
Joe
look at
Thomas, and Joe Hayden.
Yeah,
That
but
was
Joe
about
Thomas
it.
isn't like gathering stats.
Right, no.
You'd look at the box scores and you'd
Yeah.
say, okay, DeQuell came to ball again. Who else did?
I had a lot of opportunities.
This
to
was
say
in
that.
while you were in Mykonos? You
Yes.
was probably eating some souflaka and had some ouzo to drink. I got you. Yeah,
We're actually day party.
Yeah, okay, I got it.
All right,
All right,
let's go to Brad's headline.
Brad, you ready for yours?
Yeah, I guess I am. Let's go.
He better be.
See here. This is a manufacturing town. So the Browns have used R&D in victory.
Shunt.
Chunt, elite. What is this?
Chunt.
That's
I
supposed
couldn't
to be-
fit Chubb and Hunt, so
that's supposed to be-
I took the honors. and
Okay,
made
there
it
you go.
Chunt.
Yeah, see, Chubb.
That's the nickname we hate.
Yeah, because
Everybody be careful with that one.
That could be going the other way.
Like we talked about yesterday, that's too close for comfort.
Yeah,
So
too
here,
close.
Chubb and Hunt are elite as Myles dominates the New York Jets.
Okay.
Okay.
The way we win here is this is nothing special. We just come this blue collar here, right? Well, the way the Browns win is strictly this. We're gonna run the ball down your throat. We're gonna keep trying. Even when you stop me, I'm trying.
Okay.
And then the D gotta perform. I can have it break down the Newsom them had last week. That cannot happen. Right? Because that'll turn the tide here. As long as the D stays straight and we don't run away from our bread and butter, which is using Chubb and Hunt. Because last year, we ran away from it.
Yeah.
Things get sour a little bit. Oh, I'm giving up the running game. I'm not using Chubb. I'm not using Hunt. It was just a breath of fresh air to see both of them in the backfield at the same time being used.
Yeah.
Right? So
Again-
these are your workhorses.
Yeah.
Give them the ball. Just
Again,
keep feeding them.
80% of the games that Nick Chubb has played in which he's had at least 14 carries, not 18, not 20, not 22, 14 carries, 80%, he's had at least 80 yards, which is really amazing because that's not a ton of carries, 14 carries.
No, but it's in line with
Which
averages
tells you
over 5 yards per carry.
that
which
most
is-
teams cannot stop. He doesn't often have a bad game.
You know what?
It's very rare.
You know what? Sitting next to Jay, you become his vibes right now, and he's sitting in this left chair thinking to himself, these two have no chance of winning this.
No, they don't. They don't. I said that last week. And they voted you the winner.
He's sitting there looking at them like, nah, that ain't it.
That is
Is
not
this
it.
competition?
It's everything's
Absolutely.
a
Did
competition.
who won last week? I don't remember.
Well, you left the show.
G1.
Oh, yeah,
You
right.
left the show.
Yeah.
So,
I'll probably
so
surprise all you guys.
Did not
these
finish.
guys voted G. Bush had
Wait,
the best.
they voted on Monday who had the best
Yeah,
one.
and
Who
then
was-
and then they put it up to a 45-second YouTube poll. I'm not making this up.
Oh.
McNugget said, "Well, let's ask YouTube." And 45 seconds later, it goes,
Yeah.
and the poll results are in. G. Bush wins.
Oh, wow.
I was like,
this is
what?
a competition.
Well,
Okay.
for G, but listen, bring y'all behind the scenes. Anthony, myself, and Earl had a little production meeting.
Yeah.
We said which was our favorite of the headlines. First off, DeQuell's. We made a little liberty change in DeQuell. DeQuell's going to win this week. DeQuell's
I
gonna
think
win.
so.
Hold on a second.
I'm very confident.
You editing?
Wait, hold on.
I'm very confident.
No, we added a subheader. He didn't
But
send me
wait
a
a
subheader.
second.
He just sent a headline.
Does the headline have to be the most accurate or just the best headline?
No,
most
it's,
accurate.
It's the most accurate.
It's got to
Oh,
tell the
because
game.
my headline was the best. It might not have been accurate, but mine was
Well,
better.
no,
No,
it's
it's
called
accurate. It's the most
pre-written
appropriate
headline.
for what's gonna
Like,
happen
which-
Monday.
Gotcha,
And his headline last week that won, you weren't
Yeah.
here. His headline last week that won was Baker was who we thought he is.
And what was your headline?
Mine was Browns,
Here's the problem.
which
huh?
is exactly what happened.
If he can remember mine offhand and he stumbled on his, that means mine was better.
No, because I'm that hot. I'm that hot that
He
won.
was like, that was fire.
Baker is who we thought he was.
By the way,
Who was home
DeQuell.
sick today just DM'd us and goes, Jay's still mad.
Yeah,
I am.
Yeah,
He is.
Hey,
he's
you know
a
what? I
little
want to know
salty
how the
about
voting.
that.
Who did you vote for?
Last week,
Yeah.
I did vote for G. Bush.
why did
Who
G?
did Anthony vote for?
Wait, what was your?
Mine
He
was
also voted for
mine was
G's.
just a
Yeah, all
funnier
you guys
version
suck.
of G's.
Oh, okay.
By the way, the fans told
Guys
me
are-
I won the outfit contest too. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
By the way, DeQuell, did you
Tyvis pounded
hear
you
what
on
happened to me here
YouTube
on Monday?
poll.
No, what
No. I
I
won
didn't
that.
So, guys,
But we don't have to relive this, Bull. We literally couldn't.
I got
wanna
to tell
relive it.
DeQuell what happened.
He has
we
to
can't
tell.
take it off the stream.
We're moving on to the Quills.
I want to tell DeQuell real quick what happened because you
move on to
mentioned that I
DeQuell.
left.
No,
and he
it's
doesn't
still up
know.
there. It's on the YouTube
on the
stream.
YouTube, but Tegna 1 couldn't take it. We had to cut like 7 things
What?
out of it for you,
Oh,
Bull.
yeah,
Yeah,
put
they-
it on the
why?
streaming service.
There was a lot of
terms-
discussion at the
terms-
corporate level
Oh,
about it, but
my
I'll say
God.
this. Listen, it's still up on the
Whenever
YouTube
suits
channel.
get involved, things go bad.
Hey, DeQuell, I'm gonna
Yes.
after you do your headline, I'll text it to you and you can watch it. Just
Let's
make
go
No,
to
sure
I'm
it's
telling.
on.
okay.
I want to tell him. All right.
Good.
Let's be so uptight. I was called in sick Monday, which I didn't want to because I had a massive migraine.
Fair.
But I didn't want to miss the day after and Jay spreading his Baker Mayfield propaganda. So I was like, all right. So I had called in sick, and then at like 10:30, I called Mike and I said, I'm driving in now. I'm gonna make it. So I get here. I'm here at 11 o'clock. We do the first hour of the show. I got a garbage can here in case I get sick. And 1 hour in, they start to ask me about the Bengals-Steelers game.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Mid-show.
He goes, I got to take a break. I got to take a break. And his little arms couldn't reach the what? When you watch his arms couldn't quite reach it, and then he gets it.
DeQuell, I just sent you the clip if you
And
want to watch
he
it.
puts it up to his face, and
This
thought
happened
he
live?
Yeah,
It happened live. I saw it
I have
on
to
the
see
air.
this.
And
I have to
well,
see
I
this.
thought he was joking.
There was one person that didn't think he was joking.
Yeah, because you're sitting right
sitting right next to me.
Smell it. Get no overspray over here.
because you can see it and
Oh,
smell
my
it.
God.
I couldn't
Oh,
see
my
it because
goodness. He
he
just
put
said
the
it.
can up to his face, and
Oh,
I thought
my
he was
gosh.
faking like he was
No,
sick over the Bengals
I'm
loss.
sitting here.
It smelled like rigatoni and
Steve is
Twizzlers.
zoomed in on
Twizzlers. I don't eat
Bull.
Twizzlers.
I'm like, take the
Watch it,
camera,
bro.
take the camera
Watch it.
off
Wait,
of him.
you know what? Can we get a text shot of DeQuell as he watches it?
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
I want to see your reaction
Oh,
as you
my
see it live
God.
for the first
Oh,
time.
yeah, this is live.
What?
Okay.
How long's the clip?
We got
30
it going.
seconds.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. I can
Look,
see
look.
it bubbling.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, this is happening in real
Live
time.
on air. Oh,
Wait. Oh,
Oh, my
I knew it was
God.
a problem when you start moving around. You can't get
I'm like
comfortable.
this.
It's like, oh, God.
I was like this.
When I watched
Like,
it
oh,
back,
boy.
when
No,
I-
the best part, Bull has never ended a sentence without accentuating his voice.
I know.
He goes, the
Bro, it
lost.
sounds.
Pittsburgh, Cincinnati.
And that was all for Baker Mayfield.
Hey,
I'm going to need a break. I need a break.
the sound was
Oh,
just
my
deafening.
God.
It sounded
Yeah,
like
wait till you hear it.
I didn't get out of bed
Oh,
for
my
24
You
hours
God.
can hear
after
the
that.
liquid
needed
hit
that.
the, hit the
Oh,
bag.
I
and
it
needed
it's
sounded
ready.
like he was giving birth to a dolphin. It was just,
It's funny to them two. They sit over
I was like, where's all that water coming from?
It was funny to them.
I got to go back and watch
Both
your
water is
reaction.
broke.
It was over. And then I was confused afterward.
There it is. There it is.
That trash can will never be the
But,
same.
dude, did you just say it smelled like he was giving birth to a dog?
Oh,
It
my
sounded
God.
like
Sounds like it like.
Y'all had too much fun. Oh, my goodness.
They call the Cobra Squad to come out here and get the can.
The funny thing is,
hazmat
wait, there was a text chain going around
Yeah.
about we're going to need a cleanup on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and someone asked the question, did any of it hit the ground?
I was very efficient with my vomiting.
It was awesome.
All in the can.
All that in there.
Didn't even get it on my clothes.
Oh, my God. Oh, I needed
We can
that.
laugh now because you're okay, but I
yeah.
got to tell you, Bull.
We were worried.
We were really
Well,
concerned.
my eyes, I popped blood vessels. My eyes look like I got punched in the eyes.
He had 2 red circles around both.
Yeah.
I was scared to death. I was. And I felt bad because when I watched it back, I'm like, wow, I seem like I'm really inconsiderate.
No,
here. I thought you were faking
I know you
it.
got. I watched it over the next day, and I was
Yeah.
laughing my ass off.
Oh, man.
I thought it was so
that
funny.
makes for great television.
Well, I don't know
I'm
how
glad
long
you're
this
doing
show's
okay.
going to be on the air,
Yeah.
but I can honestly say this. No matter how long it's on, 30
Yeah.
years, that will be the funniest moment in the show's history.
I mean, it's
Because
gonna be
you're
hard to
okay.
top that. Yeah.
That and Joe Charbonneau breaking the
Yeah.
glass vase.
That was good, too.
All right, Nicole, you
Hey,
ready
at
for
our
your headline?
first anniversary show, Steve, if you're watching in Atlanta, our coordinating producer, at our first anniversary show, we've got to do a greatest hits recap.
Yeah.
even if it's just like a 5-minute piece or whatever.
By the way, our 100th show is coming up.
It is.
Don't forget G.
Next Friday, I
Bill
think, right?
collector.
No.
Yeah, G took a call live
Monday
on
night.
the air from a bill collector.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was phenomenal.
That was funny.
By the way,
It was almost like you set it up. It was so
we
good.
need to do this once a day, I think.
Yeah.
We don't do it enough. We need to remind people, if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube page, do that and click the notifications so you get notified every time we go live. It's not just from 11 to 1. If news breaks and it's 5 o'clock in the evening, these nut jobs, I'm on TV at that time, but these nut jobs, wherever they are, beach,
We did the
airplane,
Cavs when Donovan Mitchell got traded.
they're on the air, okay? And they're going to talk about whatever big breaking news happens. Also, the post-game show every Sunday. This is one of the most creative things I've ever seen in sports media. It's not a post-game show. It's
2-minute drill.
A 2-minute drill. We go live at the 2-minute warning every Sunday.
Oh, wow.
So you can watch in real time. Last week, in week 1, people saw Bull almost stroke out live on TV when Baker took him in for the winning score. And then they saw him almost stroke out when Cade York hit the 58-yarder.
Because me and Bull is going off about how they lost the game, how they took their foot off the table.
You looked white, bro.
I was, oh my gosh, I was pale as hell.
Yeah.
I was already in my bag, and then all of a sudden,
It was fun. We had a great time. We
McNuggets
did an
starts
hour,
saying-
and it flew by like it was 2 seconds.
Yeah.
McNuggets is like, hey, they're moving the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I'm still yelling. Then they
Yeah.
said, hey, there was a roughing the passer. They got 15 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I just stopped. Like, okay, well, let me see what's going on.
So anyhow,
good.
the reason I bring that
Also,
up is
another edition
you can
that
watch
was-
that in real time, and it's fantastic.
One other addition that I've decided to do, I've been talking about this with Mikey and Steve. I haven't told you guys yet. I'm going to do a special edition of my podcast as part of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports
Which
Show.
is the bullpen? Is that
the
what it's
bullpen, yes, for all Guardians postseason games. Right after they I'm coming on.
Listen, that's a great idea because we got a lot of times we're hearing from fans saying you guys are blowing off the Guardians.
Yeah. Right.
I love the Guardians. And listen, if I'm available, I'll come on and I'll join you because
fine.
I love talking Guardians baseball, particularly in the
especially
playoffs.
playoff games,
Yes, that's a great idea. So I bring this up because if you're not subscribed, do it.
Yep.
And hit the notifications. So when you're watching the Browns game and you're at the 2-minute warning, just throw it on your phone and watch this absolute insanity over here.
That's correct.
And here, and just it's really an innovative and exciting watch.
And I know a lot of people don't know Jeff Lloyd, who was on with us, who does the podcast with G. And I'll be honest, totally honest here, I was a little skeptical about Jeff being on with us.
Right.
But he was excellent. He brought a lot to the table. He's very knowledgeable, and he was a good addition to the crew.
Great.
Yeah, no, shout out to Jeff. He does a really good job, man. He's been doing all over the place, doing other different shows, so I'm glad to have a different voice.
Yeah.
His voice is different from ours. I love variety.
And I didn't realize he played D1 football.
he's a receiver. He's
No
like,
kidding.
yeah, he's another Joe Jarrett.
At Monmouth.
Yeah.
Wow, how about that?
All right, we got 3 more headlines to get to. We talked about
okay.
going off the Guardians. We're not going to have Guardians time today because we
I know.
got off track.
It's all right.
But
Their
DeQuell,
game yesterday wasn't worth talking about.
They threw in the towel.
They did
yesterday.
throw.
this is DeQuell's headline.
Oh, I love this one.
So I'm gonna go a different route.
Go ahead.
So
takes command.
Jacoby takes command versus the Jets. I think because he missed a lot of layups.
Yeah.
Last week we saw the overthrow. Amari Cooper. We saw Kareem Hunt running wide open. He missed that throw. He was emotional after his presser. So I think this week. Hey, you know. I think this week he gets back on track. I think he settles in. He makes his reads a lot quicker. At times last week, he was a little hesitant specifically in the 2-back set when Kareem Hunt is out. Let that guy go eat. Give him the ball early. I think this is a week he gets back on track. He makes the layups. He makes the layups. Now, he's not going to wow us, throw for 300 yards. I'm not saying that. But he's going to play an efficient game, and I think he's going to be enough.
I hope you're right.
I like that. I like the headline. That's a good one.
I like what you did right there,
And
my
that's a good
Randy Jackson
picture.
voice.
He might win. I mean,
I like the pipe.
he might have the
The
winning
pipe is a
headline.
nice touch.
I like the little comments on the side. We didn't see this coming.
Wait, I didn't
Yeah,
see
no, I think those are Anthony's add-ons.
This was
That's
Anthony's
right.
add-on.
put that
Anthony,
back
great
up.
job
back
with the
on.
graphic too.
That's
Because
it.
that
Oh, it's the same ones on all of them, those extra?
No. Oh,
Oh, I
absolutely.
take that
Oh
back.
no,
You got to bring that back.
they're of the same ilk. They all,
We had extra space because some of these headlines were longer, so to fill them in. This was Wells, I didn't see this coming. All of New York.
And then Cleveland responds with, neither did we.
See, this is
what does that say at the top? Anthony replaced by Austin Hedges for a day?
Well, hold on. Speaking of that, Steve, can we get the tag board set up?
This is kind of creative.
Give me 1 sec.
We need to take a look at Anthony today.
All right, Steve, let's take it. Give us one. We got to just put him in the box here.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
Anthony's went to the Guardians game yesterday.
This is how he showed up to work today.
Nice.
Well, Anthony, turn around for a second. We got to see the back of the jersey. Oh, yeah. He's got a Hedges.
Why would
he bought that yesterday?
And
He's the first person to ever buy an Austin Hedges jersey.
Jay, it's stitched.
It ain't no iron on, boy.
You're right.
Not the cheapy like with me with the Derek Anderson jersey.
With the iron on.
That's commitment to his job right there.
And it really is. He went out and dropped good money on a jersey.
We
Good
talked
job,
Guardians today now, so good job, Anthony.
Yeah, we got him in there.
That ain't no Gabriel Brothers, boy.
No.
You know you
Let's go to G's. Let's go to G's.
Games to have your 3 on the shoulder. That's it.
G. Bush, the reigning champ. Are you ready?
See if you got G.
Let's see his headline. Trash. I hate it. I hate it.
Look, this is, listen.
Oh, my God, that's exactly what I wrote.
Browns,
That's the exact same thing, I know.
Jets aerial attack.
Almost exactly the same thing.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Here's the problem. Oh, okay. Aerial, I see.
Yeah.
I got it.
Did you write
At first, I was like, well, the Jets have no aerial attack. They're Jets. Yeah.
Garrett took me a second. Garrett swim moves past Matthews for the Browns sack crown. Now, see how we did that? Because here's the thing. If they're going to be throwing the football, Myles Garrett's going to have an opportunity to get that sack record.
Yeah.
He is the new underground king. And I pause. The Browns defense grounds Jets aerial attack, and the Jets, obviously, that's a play on word. So, it's kind of clean. It's kind of crisp. I ain't going to lie. And I like the fact that McNuggets brags about being famous again.
Up in the upper half.
Have we seen actual clips of him playing basketball?
No.
I have
not.
I have.
I think we did.
I have.
DeClaw, I'll show you right after the show. I got him.
And I'm going to tell you.
Oh, he got him on deck.
When are we ever going to play this basketball game?
McNuggets has serious
We gotta
stroke.
figure it
Never
out.
going to happen.
He can.
I'm not worried. Look at his face.
His deep ball is on fire.
That's my no
And
worry face.
he played
DeCla's
this
just
week.
going to be physical with
He
him.
went out to. He wanted some good competition, so he went over to the Jewish church, I believe.
Yeah.
The Italian,
Jewish church.
I don't think they got a
Italian
church.
Jesus.
I think it's
Jesus.
Jay,
Went over his.
put some wood on him, DeQuill. Put some wood on him.
He told us on Monday. He goes, "Was it Monday that you?"
Tuesday. I played Tuesday.
Tuesday. He's like, "I got to tell you guys, I went out yesterday and I went and played basketball, and I was really happy because somebody recognized me."
Listen, and I almost got kicked out of the church or out of the pickup because it's supposed to only be for church parishioners. I didn't know that. How I got
Mikey,
involved.
I got some pickup games I know.
You
that
can't
guys
just
really
infiltrate
play.
somebody's
I'll tell you
community.
about it.
My dad knows a guy who's in the church. That's how I got into it.
Oh, okay.
The
And
Lakewood.
when I showed up, he was
What you
like,
doing?
"Oh, you're Mike McNuggets from the show. You could come." So
You got
I got
the
lucky.
The
and then
Lakewood
I
Y
found
has
out.
some basketball.
I got it.
The rec center in Rocky River.
There's a 6th grade pickup game every day over at one of the
Could they play
parks in Lakewood.
McNuggets? Were they pretty good?
You can always play with the brothers.
It was pretty good. Yeah, there was no one that was
G.
terrible.
But
You can always play
McNuggets
with
said
the brothers. We always
you
let
said
you
your
in.
shot was on fire.
We always get another
The
body.
3-pointer felt good. Everything else felt terrible. The handle needs to come back. I couldn't make a layup, but the 3-pointer felt
Struggling.
good.
Okay.
Probably
We should have
touch
like
the
a
basketball
game
once a week.
amongst us one of these days.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
mean,
got it.
that would be interesting. We
I'll
need
probably
it.
tear my Achilles.
Okay.
but-
an ambulance
So we
on.
got G's. Let's go to-
That's fine. They couldn't even hate on that a little bit.
Let's
They
go
like,
to, let's go to Jay's.
What you got, Jay?
Because Jay
No,
tuned up for you.
so can we do this, Steve? Can we put G. Bush's up and then flip directly to mine? Can you do that or not?
Because
Very
Jay
similar.
done tuned up for you.
Listen, I'm
take it
coming
full.
for him. But I don't know what's going to happen because here's yours. Browns D, Grounds Jets aerial attack. Now go to mine.
Ooh.
I mean, bro, that's scary.
That is
scary.
That is.
But I did throw the first 2-0 start in 29 years.
I like that
that's gonna
stat.
be, that's going to
I
be
like
part of the
that stat.
headline.
I like
and
that
nobody
stat.
else mentioned that.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
like
That's
that
true.
stat.
Good point.
I like the little frowny face on the play.
Yeah.
Anthony. That's a really
If
nice
Garrett
touch.
does not break the sack record, you're automatically out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think he'll get
I mean,
four
I think
sacks.
he's going to, but
4 is a lot, but I think he gets
no,
4.
he only needs 2.
I mean, I'd say he getting 4.
Oh, I said if the Browns get 8 sacks, then I got to win automatically because I picked 8 sacks.
Yeah,
If
I'll
they get
give
8
you
sacks,
8 sacks.
It's
I'll
not
give you
even
that.
taking a vote.
Yeah,
Where there is no vote.
I'll give you that.
8 or more,
like
or does it
that.
have to be 8 exactly?
It's got to be 8 exactly. You know what? I'll give it to you if they're not. If they get 9.
If they get 9 sacks.
I mean, my God.
I mean, that's a lot of sacks.
Yeah, that's like saying, Jose Ramirez is going to hit for the cycle tomorrow with 2 grand slams and 5 home runs.
Right, yeah.
Like, you're shooting for the moon here.
Yeah,
if
right.
you get it, you nailed
exactly.
it.
All right, guys, that was headlines. We're going to pick a winner on Monday.
Okay.
Are we going to do Tyvis's now or when he joins us?
Well, we got Tyvis now, so we might as well bring him in. And
Bring
then
him in
we'll
and have
bring his
him.
headline
There
in.
he
What's
is.
up, Tyvis? The party's not it's not a party till Tyvis Powell
Still
joins.
thinking he's a baseball player. Tyvis Powell joins the program.
Tyvis thinks he can play in the majors, DeQuell. What do you got to say?
Is that right?
You think?
I've never seen him bat. Never seen him feel the ball.
We got that clip.
He's an
I
athlete.
can get
At the very
that
least, he's an
clip if you
athlete.
see me swing.
Tyvis.
No one wants to see that again.
That's
Tyvis,
a charity softball game.
We also have a clip of you swinging a golf club. So stand down.
Oh, that's tough.
I know Tyvis.
You know what? Listen, hold on. Wait a minute. I didn't come up here for y'all to antagonize me, okay?
Tyvis, hold on, Tyvis, hold on. That beard, you looking like Grady from Sanford and Son.
Oh, man.
And they keep
You got some
coming.
cream corn in it right underneath your lip. You got some cream.
Wow. Shots fired by Brad.
Little television.
Listen.
He didn't even know Sanford and Son. He's too young for
My
Sanford
bad,
and Son.
Tyvis. My bad.
Tyvis, have you ever heard of Sanford and Son?
Heck yeah, that's a classic show. But anyways, that's with Red Fox in them. But anyways, listen. Y'all, I'm not on
Get your
camera.
barber and trim you
Listen.
up.
Hey, leave my man alone. Leave my man
I'm a
alone.
grown
Tyvis,
man.
you know what I'm saying? Let him know, bro.
Listen, I'm on radio for the next couple of days, not on camera, so I can look like this. They like this, man.
You know what it is? We're just all mad that you're the prettiest one. That's what it is.
Run around look like
y'all,
an airbag
y'all mad
model.
because y'all can't get a beard. Y'all know, like real men grow beards.
I can't get a beard?
Yeah.
I just shaved yesterday.
Tyvis, listen.
No
hold on
beard,
for a second.
all clean face.
Tyvis, hold on.
You don't want to play the beard game with me, my friend.
Tyvis, listen real carefully.
Listen, no shave November's coming,
Yeah,
and
it
I
is.
don't want to. Y'all ain't shaving.
You want to play the
nothing.
beard game? I'll put you to shame.
I tried that last
I'll
year.
look like a wolf man in 3 weeks.
I was almost all white. Tyvis, listen real carefully. Listen closely. Do you hear that? That's Bull's facial hair growing. I mean, this dude has
I'm
like
a werewolf.
He has an 11 a.m. shadow.
I shaved yesterday. Yesterday.
Hey, but that he said it's a little beaver in that though. Like,
What is it?
A beaver?
Beaver.
I'm grubby. I'll let this grow for
get
3
mine to
weeks.
grow.
It'll be bigger
Look,
than yours
see, y'all
already.
I can't do nothing. I'm out of this one. I have no horse in the race. Don't ask me about facial hair.
face.
Nothing.
Come on, Tyvis, bring your
Give
noise,
us your
baby.
Browns headline, bro. What do you have?
Oh,
let's just
go
take
ahead.
it. Let's take it.
Get it to him. You know, shock the world, shocker.
Now that's a beard right there.
That's a beard.
Great
That's a
minds
beard
think
right
alike.
there.
That's a beard.
Okay, I like the passing game flies past Jets. I like what you did. You put it on the offense a little
Great.
bit there. I like that. I like it.
Passing game
Listen,
flies
you
past
got
Jets.
listen, if you got Jacoby Brissett, if you don't got him on your fantasy team, this is the week to do it, man. They about to go out there and flood the streets.
Yeah,
That's
if-
where
if
I'm
you
at
wanna
with
lose,
it.
Let's not get nuts.
If you want to lose,
No, listen. Jacoby Brissett about to go out there. He's going for 200 plus. If I had to throw a number on, I'm gonna say he's going for 256.
Ooh,
damn. I've been thinking
17
about
for
this.
22, 2 touchdowns. That's where I'm at with it.
But I have one question. Does that really qualify as flying past the Jets?
For him, it does.
For Jacoby Brissett, it does.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett, it does.
Yes.
If you're going to put him in your fantasy lineup with those numbers, take the L.
That's a
I'm never
25
starting Jacoby
point
Brissett in
game.
the fantasy team.
Take the L.
That's a 25-point game. I had Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers. They gave me like 10 points combined.
I have Dak Prescott too. I flat released him. I don't want him. I did. I dropped him. I'm done with him.
I put him on IR. I had to put
he
Marcus
ain't playing no
Mariota
way,
in.
so
Messed up. Blew the whole
Cowboys
league.
suck.
What do you think about the Buckeyes this weekend? Easy one? No problem?
Yeah, this is the thing about the Buckeyes this weekend, man. They should win fairly easy, but they do have Toledo got this quarterback, y'all. I ain't saying he the best thing, but he's mobile. And what's good about it is Ohio State needs to see these type of things. Obviously, Notre Dame had a guy who was mobile, but this guy for Toledo actually leads the team in rushing. He got 3 touchdowns on the ground, 3 touchdowns in the air. And after seeing how my boy Denzel Burke played last week at that corner position, he needs to bounce back. They do have a receiver over there by the name of Jawan Newton. Pretty good receiver, 5'11" guy. I don't think he should be a problem, but I need to see Denzel Burke get back to where he was last year, because it was concerning to see somebody like that. It just seemed like when that ball was in the air, he wasn't used to it, or he was nervous or something. He just started face going. I don't like that. Y'all know how I am when it comes to them corners. Like you got to be in phase, in position to make plays. I don't want to see you playing this catch-up game, trying to and then panicking and jumping up, putting your hands up in front of them to try to stop the ball. Like that's not what we do at Ohio State.
Hey, Tyvis, I want to ask you about the Buckeyes' offensive line, because I know we talked. Like last year, they just decided to start their best 5 guys, even if they right, and they didn't really have 5 guys at the right position. And I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I don't feel like their offensive line is that good. Am I wrong? I mean, a lot of people, I shouldn't say it's not that good. It just should be better. Like I don't think it's right. It should be better.
See, when you think about Ohio State's offensive line, traditionally you got 5 dogs up there. We run the ball, we throw the ball. Right now, it just seemed like it ain't clicking. Particularly is not the tackle positions. I think DeJuan Jones and Paris Johnson is actually playing really well. It's the 3 interior, which that's the one that you got to have the most. So I agree with you. They got to do a better job of creating these running lanes, because Travion Henderson scored last week and my end do their thing, but it does not look how we used to look back when we was rushing for 200+ yards a game. Like they got to figure that thing.
Tyvis, I don't think we committed to really running the ball. I mean,
we ain't.
You got to wake your boy up, man. Here, I got it. The aerial attack looks great. I got you. You got a nice guy with a nice arm, but that don't win you games. That look good on TV. To win games, you got to win in the trenches. That's like on Sunday with the Browns. We're gonna win in the trenches.
Brad, I'm with you. Like we gotta. This is the thing. This is the
Call
last.
Your people then.
This is the last tune-up game for them, because next week it's Wisconsin and they in the Big Ten play. So they have to come out of this game feeling very confident with being able to run the ball and pass the ball. Like this is it. Like if the offensive line has to produce, Mayan and Travion both have to have a good day of rushing, and they got to do a great job opening them lanes. It's Toledo, for Christ's sakes. I'm not going to say Toledo is not good, because Toledo will put you in a dogfight if you let them. Yeah. But you got to walk out of this game being able to know that if we need to win a game by running the ball, we can do that. We already know we can do it passing, but we need to know that if we have to, if it comes down to it, because in the Big Ten, you got to run the ball. Like, that passing stuff is cute, but once it gets later in the year, running the ball is going to be the most effective way to get it done. And like I said, after this game, they better have some yards. I'm looking for 200+ yards on the ground.
Tyvis, man, I'm a little concerned, bro.
Here we go.
I'm surprised nobody brought this up. Yeah. That Notre Dame win is looking real suspect right now.
Hold on, wait a minute. See, I don't like that. I don't like that, bro. We won. We did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, you got
to remember this. It was week 1. Like, that was nobody else outside of Georgia played a really good team in week 1. Like, so you
get some points
can't sit there. You can't name me 4 teams right now that's better than Ohio State.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you what. Ohio State don't need to be better than 4 teams. They just have to beat a couple of them. We looking at Georgia and Alabama. Now I look at Alabama and they go to Texas, to Austin.
Okay, and nobody said anything.
They play in good competition, man. That is a hard game.
So now all of a sudden Texas is back. They lost to Kansas.
Texas played a heck of a game.
Texas looked pretty good.
They lost to Kansas last year. What are you talking about?
Hey, listen.
Yeah, but Notre Dame played a heck of a game. Now you're saying they stink. How do we know Texas is any good?
Yeah,
Here's what I'm saying to you. We're not talking about it. It ain't about Texas. It's about Alabama and Georgia. And
Alabama didn't play well.
Alabama and Georgia.
What you talking about is valid, man.
They got to start putting.
Ohio State's not losing to Marshall either.
We know the strength of schedule. I'm watching these SEC teams play each other every week. I'm like, Florida and Kentucky just played. Yeah. I'm like, you look at Arkansas versus South Carolina.
Yeah. They play late in the season against some scrubby schools. They always do that late in the season.
So I'm just saying, if you're ready on the Notre Dame game and Arkansas State and Toledo, you feel good about that.
Well, Tyvis, I will say this to G's point.
He ain't got no point, Brad.
He's got a great point.
First of all,
He don't got a point at all.
Let me stop you because I'm a card-carrying number 2.
I got to turn my hat around for this.
Number 2.
I got to turn my hat
I
around.
can say a few things. I'm a card-carrying number 2.
Okay.
Ohio State, we have not looked scary yet. That is concerning.
Okay, so I don't disagree with that. What I will say is scary. The defense is better. They're giving up, averaging 11 points a game. That's at the end of the day, that's what we needed to see the most. The offense is going to happen. I mean, they didn't have Julian Fleming and they haven't had JSN for 2 games. That
shouldn't
a big
matter.
part of the offense. What are you talking about? Like
It
what
shouldn't
do we
matter when you got the talent they do.
Like we don't got injuries right now.
No, but that shouldn't matter. You're playing teams
It
that aren't that
does
good.
matter. What do you
Are we going to
mean?
Maryland?
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you something.
Wait a minute. It doesn't matter. Quinn
It should
Ewers-
matter. You're Ohio
Texas
State. The
would've
last
won
guy on
that
the
game
roster is
last
better than
week.
anybody on
Quinn Ewers
Toledo.
never got hurt.
All right, but let me ask you something else. Forget Ohio State. None of the college football nonsense. Let's get back to the NFL.
It's elitist.
I got this question. I got this question for you
York
and for
elitist.
DeQuell.
This guy, man.
All right, I got a question for you and DeQuell.
We'll talk about the
What is going on now in the NFL? Like, I understand if the defense does a pick six or a fumble and they score a touchdown. Now, every time there's a turnover, the entire defense is doing a celebration. They run to the end zone and doing a celebration. What is going on here? You in favor of this or no?
Listen, if I were out there, if I got a turnover, if let's say my teammate got a turnover, I'm not running 50 yards
It's
down
insane.
the field
Because then you got to run
and
50
tire
back.
myself out to run back
it is?
to the sideline.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing?
It's a different. Go for
DeQuell,
it.
you're showing your age, right?
Yes, yes. I'm saving my legs.
The young guy.
No,
This is a
no,
long
no.
season.
It's a party.
And they added a game.
You know how demoralizing it is to see a whole 53 people run down there and go flick it up with your boys, take a picture.
It's not-
Hey, guess what? If we're on the field together, I'll be on the sideline. I'll
theory.
congratulate you guys on the sideline.
I have a
Listen,
theory.
they got team dances and everything.
Tyvis.
The celebrations is unbelievable.
You gotta act
He
like
likes
when
it.
you're in the pros. You gotta act like you've been there before. We're gonna do this again.
I have a theory.
Well, Brad, I haven't. So there you go. I can't act like
Okay, that ties in with my theory. If Tyvis is here, Tyvis would kill me,
Yeah.
and DeQuell might kill me. But here's my theory on that. There is a bit of an inferiority complex for defensive players because the spotlight always
right.
shines on the
Offense gets to celebrate. And I get the
And so
celebration.
now this is their opportunity, Bull, to grab the spotlight. And they're always, when you're playing defense, you're only really called out if you have a pick, a sack, or if you get burned.
Right.
It's kind of like
That's
offensive
true.
linemen. If they're calling your name, it's not good. So I think my theory is that you've got a group of 11 of them that are all feeling that kind of way.
Right.
And now they get a chance to boast, to shine. It's their moment. And they are taking that moment and running to the other end zone and flexing up.
You got a point because one guy made the play.
Yeah.
You're celebrating with your team.
Yeah.
I
The whole
get that
unit.
element of it.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
at the end of the day, listen, I would always tell guys when I play, if I get a pick, if I'm behind the 50, I'm pitching that thing because I'm not taking it 60 yards. I'm pitching it. I knew my truth. I'll go block for you because I didn't plan on running 50, 60 yards.
I'm gonna tell you what. Here's another thing.
Gee, didn't you sack Ben Roethlisberger in college, or am I making that up?
Yes, twice.
Did you really?
Yes, twice. I got it on the highlight
Look
tape.
at that.
I need
Sack Ben
we
Roethlisberger.
need video of that.
I'll break all the rules, the legal rules. We'll play that video if we get.
By the way, I sacked Jared Lorenzi. I sacked
The hefty lefty?
I sacked Cynical
R.I.P.
Wallace. Who
Okay.
outside of the sack? Two outside. I sacked Bruce Gradkowski. I'll be out here moving around, bro. Don't listen.
Wow.
Okay.
Come on,
Okay.
man. Listen. Was nice.
He can play.
But I
Back in
will.
the day.
But I will tell you this.
McKinley in the building.
McKinley, national champs in the building. You know what it is. In 1997, you see what it is.
McKinley
Time is one of the best, all-time winningest programs.
See, I see
that hat.
The only
See how I
public
cue him
school.
up?
See,
I cue him up every time.
Oh, and
I
by
give
the
him a
way,
lob. There's alley-oop, baby. There's alley-oop.
you basketball dudes around here think y'all good. We the all-time
my
winningest
God.
program in basketball history too.
Yeah.
The only back-to-back state championships
Yeah,
ever. Ignatius Chuck. Hey, we had the dean up here.
Gee, we
and
have
he had
smoked.
to acknowledge Tyvis.
I'd have smoked you by myself. My team by myself. I'd have smoked you. Give me the ball and get out of the way. It's Kobe. Look.
Tyvis, let's get to some real stuff. Stop all that. Let's get to some real stuff.
Get out of the way.
Tyvis, let's get to some real stuff. Why your boy Richard Sherman hating on Russell Wilson?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I missed that.
What did he say? I didn't even hear it.
Yeah,
What's
listen,
going on here?
it's not just Richard Sherman.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's his boy, though. I want to know.
Sherman's a hater.
Why is your boy hating on Russell Wilson?
It's not. It's Sherm has very strong feelings. A lot of people are still upset about their Super Bowl loss that they had, and after that, things happen on that defense where
blame the coach.
Some people were let go.
You know what? Let me ask you this, Ty, because
paid, so it's just one of those.
I don't know why he hating on him.
I'm going to take him to it. I don't know if he'll go there. Albert Breer, in an interview a couple of days ago, said that there was a real undercurrent in Seattle where they were just done with Russell Wilson.
Yes.
And the reason that they were done with him was because Pete Carroll, who normally treats everybody the same, had rules for Russell and rules for everybody else.
Well,
and there were
the
people
same for every quarterback.
Yeah, but now wait. There were people in the organization that actually say Pete called that play at the goal line for Russell because he was acquiescing to Russell. Russell would want to throw the ball in that situation, and it cost him a Super Bowl. So there were guys on that team that didn't like the fact that Russell had the power that he did, and it is like that for most quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But is that true? Was that really going on there?
What I know is this.
Okay.
This is all I know. All right.
Somebody
that
told
play
me.
was called for Russell Wilson to make that play because they wanted Russell Wilson to be the reason why they won that Super Bowl. They easily could have gave it to Marshawn, but they wanted Russell Wilson to be that guy so he could be MVP and be the face of the franchise. And once that happened, boom, that just caused all type of rift in the whole thing. So that's just what I know.
Albert's right then.
Note to everyone, I'll take you back to the Chicago Bears. It was Walter Payton's chance to score a touchdown.
He didn't score in the Super Bowl.
And they gave it to Frizz because they wanted Frizz to take it over the line.
You're
so this
right.
happens all the time. And the second getting treated two different ways.
Yeah, but no.
Let me tell you, two different ways.
The Bears won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but here, I'm going to give you
the Seahawks lost it.
You're right.
So there's a big difference
I'm going to go to your treatment of rules for one versus rules for the other. Horace Grant is still mad today, right? Because he can never understand why MJ was getting the treatment that he was. I would take Horace on the round. I said, why is this bothering you? This is how the world works.
Get over it.
Right? Like, stop playing, right? We get the hotel, me and you got regular king rooms. He got a 2-level suite with a piano in it.
With Teddy Riley playing.
As long as he's inviting us upstairs to get something to eat and he's paying the bill, I'm going up to the suite, bro.
Teddy Riley get here.
You're like, he traveled with the Bulls. He would play the piano in Jordan's room everywhere they
went. So we had to leave on a bus. You had to be on the bus by 6 o'clock, right? And so if we're not on the bus by 6 o'clock, they'll pull off and leave you, right? You have to take a taxi.
You ain't going anywhere without MJ.
MJ, one other thing, we sitting there like this. And then when he get up, nobody say a word. He looking down.
Hey, but Tyvis, I gotta tell you, I gotta say this. I don't understand why anybody would be upset about that. Don't you understand?
Why does he need to take shots at him?
Don't you understand that Russell Wilson's wife is Sierra? He get extra credit points. He can throw the ball. He get audible just because of that. Sierra on 2. It's just the way it is, bro.
Yeah, but you know what? The Sierra thing.
I'm gonna talk to you off air about that too.
This is what I don't understand about those comments, right? Like if Pete Carroll was trying to cater to Russell Wilson, isn't that, explain to me why he wanted out. Didn't he want the ball in his hands? Didn't he want to throw the ball more? If they were doing that already,
that is weird.
It's kind of
because you know why? You can. Dan Gilbert found this out with LeBron first time around. You can feed the monster, and you can keep the monster alive, but you get to a point where you can't feed him enough.
No. But they were a run-first type of team.
They were always a run team.
They were.
So
wait a minute.
This notion
let me ask you this question, okay? Why is it that when Russell Wilson was there, you know how many offensive coordinators got fired over in Seattle?
Right.
How many times they switched offensive coordinators? Yeah. Because the offensive coordinators would say that he's limited. It's a lot of things that he can't do, even though he was Mr. Unlimited. So they kept, instead of getting rid of Russell, they kept saying, it's the coaches, it's the coach. play call.
I mean, maybe give him an offensive line. How about protect for him?
I agree with that
My
too.
God,
but they
got him killed every year.
paid other positions.
So
They paid other positions.
So did you watch the game with Russell Wilson in Seattle? So what did you think about the fourth down situation? Does that make sense now that the coach wouldn't put the ball in Russell Wilson's hands during that moment
put it to you,
and decide to kick a field goal?
I'm gonna ask you this, DeQuell. If I'm paying you $256 million and it's 4th and 5, and I'm paying the kicker, I don't know, $6 million. Who am I putting the ball?
Damn right.
It's an easy
that was so
decision.
stupid. I couldn't believe it. And it wasn't even it was like a 60-yard kick.
64.
That was absurd.
I will say I was in Denver. I was in Denver. My last team, my 8th team was Denver. Yeah. And Brandon was hitting them things from deep like that.
Yeah, but the game wasn't in Denver. It was in Seattle, though.
No, like I'm saying the kicker. I know the kicker.
I know that, but like the ball, part of the reason he kicks those is because in Seattle it's easier to kick.
True. That's true.
Just tell your boy. We moving on, but
or Denver,
tell your boy that's a bad look.
Yeah,
right? That's a very bad look.
You know what's funny, Brad? I said the same thing. I literally hit him up the next day and said, "You got to stop this. Like, just leave it. Let this stuff go. Let it go. It's
he's not that guy. He's not gonna let that go.
Don't go. You know,
that's who Richard
everybody got their own. Everybody got their own clause. They don't want him to go in there.
Russell Wilson's never. Has Russell Wilson said a bad word about him? Never.
Hey, no. Listen, I don't want to hear from you. I want you to get him on the show. I want to.
We've been trying. He won't come on.
We gonna still keep talking to him.
Sherm's too big time.
I just asked Tyvis about this the other day. Hey, Sherman. Hey, listen, Sherman will be here next Wednesday. Because Thursday Night Football is coming to Cleveland for Pittsburgh.
He ain't gonna be on this show. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Now he ain't. No, listen, I don't have any problems with him saying that. That's his job now.
That is.
He's paid to Richard Sherman. That's his job now. And when you cross over into that world, the one thing that they'll tell you from jump is, if you're not going to bring strong opinion, you're not going to. If you're afraid of hurting people's feelings, there's the door.
Wait, we got to do Tyvis's headline. Did we do it?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did it.
All right, Tyvis.
Peace out, man. Have a great weekend.
All right, y'all.
Get that beard together, boy.
No, we good.
I'll give you some beard lessons later.
Grown man look.
I'll teach you how to wear a beard later.
Before we do final takes, we got to tell you what the internet is saying. And when we tell you what the internet is saying, it's brought to us by PCC Airfoils. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mentor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and some signing bonuses. Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more.
All right, nothing for me today. We don't have a lot of time, so let's get to it.
So we asked the internet for a final score prediction for Sunday's game. If anyone gets it right, they win a T-shirt. Someone got it right last week. We're shipping them a T-shirt today.
Nice. Someone didn't get it right last week?
Nailed it on the head, 26-24.
What an odd score to pick.
I know, but he got it right.
Why didn't we interview that guy this week?
He's in Columbus. He's coming to the game this week. So
nice.
I'm like, we should have had him on. So where the hell did you come up with that number?
Well, how about this? You win a T-shirt and you get a 2-minute interview next week.
Yes, absolutely.
We added that.
Cool.
So let's see the score predictions. We picked 4. It does not mean these are the only 4 that are qualified to enter, but Dawson David says 31-10 Browns.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Next one. 27-13 Browns. That's from Tony Clifton.
Plausible.
Next one.
Tony Clifton.
27-20 from Austin V.
No.
Next one. 27-3 for Chris Starkey.
Really nice.
Absolutely not.
And last one. 23-14 from Taylor Travis. If any of these guys are right, or the other 100+ responses we got, you'll get a T-shirt. You'll get a 2-minute interview. One scary thing, not a single person picked the Jets.
That is scary.
That's crazy. Not one person?
Just remember, the trap
Now,
is
we
set.
are a Cleveland audience, but
I know, but
not a
you
single
think that
person
there'd
picked
be
the
one
Jets.
detractor.
A lot of people
That
picked the
makes me a little
Panthers last
nervous.
week.
I
Just
know
to
they
show
did.
you guys.
All right.
Well, it's some guy I know sent a picture of him wearing a Carolina Baker jersey, and I'm like, that's an embarrassment.
Well, you've literally changed the way you root for football.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
If you follow a player after a trade, you can root for the player. I'm okay with that.
But to buy his jersey?
But if you're wearing another team's jersey,
That's
you
lame.
can't claim fandom of the Browns. You just can't do it.
It changes the way. You can say I'm rooting for a guy.
Yeah.
I'm silent.
When he
I wanna
doesn't
see the
play
guy
the
do
Browns,
good.
fine.
That's my cool guy, but I can't just.
But to root for that team over your team and wear that jersey,
Then you're not a true
that's
fan.
a step, man. That's a step.
I don't understand.
Are we going to do final takes?
Let's do final takes. Before we start, though, reminder, if you want to buy the T-shirts, the cool UCSS T-shirts we're giving out. DeQuell got his today. He'll be rocking them all around Cleveland the rest of the weekend.
Just bought 20 of them.
Cleveland
Did you buy 20?
Company.com. The link is on our Twitter, on our YouTube. You can find them there. 2 cool shirts. Go buy them.
Are they selling better than hotcakes, like hotcakes, or not as well as hotcakes?
I would say better than hotcakes.
You would?
Hotcakes and sausage is kind of good, though.
All right.
All right, Bull. Final takes. You're up.
All right, thank you. Couple things on baseball. Real quick, yesterday I was going to mention it. We didn't have time because Jason had such a poignant final take. It was Roberto Clemente Day in Major League Baseball. Roberto Clemente died on New Year's Eve doing what he did, which was trying to help people that were struggling, people that needed food and water.
After an earthquake, right?
After an earthquake, yes. Remarkable human being. I also wanted to talk about, acknowledge that was yesterday in Major League Baseball, although bad job by Major League Baseball having the Pirates, which was his team, play on the road, which you'd think of Roberto Clemente Day, the Pirates would be at home. You'd think they'd figure that out. But anyway, one other thing. So we didn't get a chance to talk about the Guardians, so I wanted to spend a minute or so on them here. Yesterday, I didn't love the idea that they brought up this kid whose name I can't think of now, who got clobbered against the
Hunter
Astros.
Gaddis.
Thank you. And he got clobbered again yesterday. They kind of gave up that game to push McKenzie back to this Twins series. I thought the White Sox were more important, especially with Lance Lynn's been pitching real well lately. But okay. The bottom line is the Guardians don't need to dominate this 9-game stretch. They just need to be adequate. Now, I'd like them to dominate, but if they split 4 with the White Sox and even lose 3 out of 5 of the Twins, they're still probably going to win this division. So we don't need to panic with one loss. However, these are pretty big games here. But the Twins and White Sox are the ones that need to do the catching. And remember, they're going to play each other 6 out of 9 games to end the year. So that's pretty big. It's a big weekend. Hopefully people will turn up at the stadium. You have 5 games in 4 days, including a doubleheader on Saturday. And Bieber, McKenzie, and Quantrill will all pitch over this 4-day weekend. It's going to be a great weekend of baseball. I think the Guardians are going to take care of business. I do think they're going to win the series, and I'm looking forward to it. By the way, I don't know if we've qualified this on the air. Remember we were all confused about the fact that the Guardians are hosting the Royals for 6 straight days during the season? Yeah. Did you hear I forgot about it.
It was the first series of the year that was washed out.
No, it wasn't washed out.
Or pushed back.
The lockout.
The lockout, they pushed it back.
I had forgotten about the lockout already. Yeah. That's why the schedule is so weird like that. So anyway, go Guardians. Let's go.
All right. Well, good take, Bull. Let me go to my take here. And so I will just tell you this, that if you're a sports fan in this town or across this country, it's a great season for sports. Obviously, in the Cleveland area, you've got Ohio State football playing, the Browns teeing it up on Sunday. You've got the Guardians in the midst of a playoff run here. Things are great. And I will just tell you, there are other things that are going on out here as well. And one, if you're not paying attention, the WNBA finals are going on as we speak. And if you haven't been paying attention to this series between the Connecticut Sun and the Las Vegas Aces, you are missing some great basketball. And shout out to Alyssa Thomas, University of Maryland, DeQuell's alma mater, Brianna Jones, who are playing extremely well. Connecticut Sun had a chance to be swept away last night, and Alyssa Thomas stepped up and gave the first triple-double of WNBA Finals history last night. And I'm just talking about just great basketball, right? And I know the Chiefs game was on last night, and I turned from the Chiefs game to watch the WNBA game because not only was the game electric, the crowds are electric, and it's just a good product. It doesn't get as much following as some of the other sports, but I'm going to tell you, on the periphery, if you're looking from the outside or looking for things to be entertained by, do not miss an opportunity to watch the WNBA game. The finals have just been excellent. Great play, great players, people that you may have known in college. They are really excelling at the pro level. So as you take on your full complement of sports in the following few days, do not forget to put that in your Rolodex for a chance to be looked at.
And Becky Hammond is the coach of the Aces.
Yeah, she's doing a great job.
She hopefully will get a chance to coach in the NBA someday if she wants to.
Yeah,
the thought is she could be the first.
I didn't think she was ever going to bail out. And I thought when Pop left, they were going to squeeze her into San Antonio, but she's doing an outstanding job.
Pop spoke to the team. Did you see the video?
I saw.
Yeah, he spoke to the team. That was pretty cool.
All righty. So I guess I'm up. My final take, not as, a little bit more on the football side. Definitely on the football side. Just watching the game last week. I was doing a lot at the house. I was running around with the little one. And one thing stood out to me with the Browns last week was the secondary. I just want to, put them on notice. they got to communicate better. They have to make the Jets go the long, hard way. And I think if they do that, between Josh Johnson and Ronnie Harrison and Denzel Ward and all these guys, I think they can get back on track. And I think this is the week to do it. And I'm putting the onus on them to make sure they shore things up so my man Jacoby Brissett can have a good day along with that two-headed monster in the backfield. So that's my final take of putting the focus on the Browns secondary.
I like it.
We're going to keep to the Browns, but we're going to move to the front office, man. I want to give a shout-out to D and Jimmy Haslam. And you know why I'm going to give y'all a shout-out? Because you know what? Y'all ain't been afraid to take chances. So far in this area, Ohio and Cleveland, for the most part, people are really conservative about their traditions, about change, and about certain things happening in their organizations that they love. We talked about the Guardians name change and how that really hurt the former Indians. We've talked about how, the perception of LeBron and whether the Cavs were going to ever be good and how that affects their organization. And I'm going to talk to you guys about what you've done better. You have taken chances. You said, look, man, for better or worse, I'm going to go out and I'm going to roll the dice on the quarterback. And that could have blown up on your face, and to a certain extent, for some people, they probably think it did. But as
Still could.
Yeah. But you took the chance. You looked at the uniforms, and you had the old uniforms, and you went to the letters down the side of the legs, the quail moving around. Them was terrible. And you know what you did? You said, yeah, we're going to change them right back. And you got rid of them. That was awesome. And then you finally went to the people, and you've heard people being loud and obnoxious about this. When are we going to get something in the middle of the field? We want new stuff. We want some pizzazz, some spice in life. And you, guess what? You let them vote on them, and now you're going to unveil your new logo in the middle of the field. Personally, I love it, but the fact that I love even more is you're giving the people a voice. You're giving the fans an opportunity to be inclusive in the process. And every time we talk about it marketing, it's all about inclusiveness. People want to feel like they're a part of something. And when you keep unveiling things like this, you make people feel a part. Good job, D and Jimmy.
Hey, Jay, before you go, can I add one piece to what you're saying? When the Haslams took over the team, it was within the first year, we were getting ready to play the Steelers. And someone in marketing had this bright idea. We all know Pittsburgh has the terrible towels. Right. Someone in marketing, they probably got fired the next day. They thought it was a brilliant idea to unveil white towels and issue them out to the fans. So me and a couple guys saw it. We reached out to the Haslams.
Yeah.
Within 2 days, they had already printed the programs. Yeah. They had already mentioned it.
Yeah.
Within 2 days, they scrapped it.
Even though the money was sunk.
Even though the money was sunk.
That's a good job out of them.
And so that was indication that, okay, we want to get this right. Yeah. And it was players voicing it, and they listened to us, and they scrapped it. But someone was probably out of a job. It was the dumbest idea I've ever heard of.
Well, we're going to surrender.
That person that person had to know nothing about football, or I don't know. Yeah. But you would know that anyway.
Here's the thing, though. You give even more credit to the Haslams, because I can't imagine that those white towels were made and that idea was rubber stamped unless they approved it.
Exactly.
So they were shooting down their own approval of a bad idea, which at least they had.
They've had a lot of bad ideas.
And this was the midweek. This was like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
We were playing on Sunday.
Wow. At least they listened to you guys.
That would have been so embarrassing.
Oh, my gosh. As a player,
I did hear from a lot of fans, though, that they were upset that they didn't give them the opportunity to choose the dog face as the logo for midfield.
I would have, if it was the dog face, I would have picked the dog. I would have picked the dog.
I would have, too, and I think most people would have.
Yeah.
Right.
But I like Brownie the Elf, but
I love the Elf.
I don't know which would have won, but if you're going to give the fans a choice, they should have also given them the Browns face as a logo, because that would be pretty BA. If you see that face on the logo at midfield, that's who we are. We're dogs.
Note to self. Right. You can always do it next year.
Yeah.
And note to self.
That's right. It's not there forever.
Yeah.
Note to self. You can do that. You can do it. You can have two things.
Yeah, you can do two things at once.
You can change it.
Vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry.
I don't believe in strawberry.
I love strawberry. I actually like the swirls.
I like
Give
the
me all
swirls.
three at once.
Fruit and sweets don't belong together.
All right.
Jay, you're up.
A lot of talk about the Guardians this weekend. A lot of talk about the Buckeyes this weekend. A lot of talk about the Browns. You got all of them home this weekend. All big games. I'm going to throw something else out there that you probably haven't done in a while, and you're going to wonder why it's been so long since you've done it. Find a high school football game tonight and go to it. We all did it when we were young. When we played, it was the highlight of the week. There's something about the lights, the cool, crisp fall air, and the love of school. I'm guessing no matter where you're watching this, no matter where you are watching this, there will be a high school football game played within 5 miles of your home. Give it a shot. It's probably been a while since you've done it. I guarantee you tonight around 9:30 you'll say, man, I haven't done that in a long time and I'm glad I did it, because it's always fun. High school football, the kids are playing their tails off for the love of the game.
Chills, man.
And when you do go to a game, do you ever say that sucked?
No.
You know, it's just fun to hear the bands, to see the student pride.
Smell that popcorn.
Smell the grass.
The whole thing.
You're in the middle of it.
NFL's great. College is great. But don't forget about the high school kids either.
Absolutely.
And we've got great high school football here in the state of Ohio.
Yes.
So odds are there's a great matchup within 10 miles of your house. Find it, go, and thank me online.
DeQuell, how big was your high school?
When I graduated, let's say 5A, so it was probably like 4,000 kids.
Wow. Graduating class of 1,000 then.
Yeah, we had a pretty big.
So big crowds on a Friday night
Oh my God, listen. The entire community showed up to the game. You know, you knew everyone. You looked to your left, looked to your right, either sideline. You knew cousins, brothers, sisters. I mean, the entire community would come out.
It's crazy how high school sports can bring a community together. It really is. It's crazy.
I had 1,800 people in my graduating class.
Real quick.
Wow.
Our high school was, I went to school in New York, but for high school football, it
because
was not a big crowd.
It's just the NFL.
We didn't have a great team.
But God,
We were
1,800.
mediocre.
Basketball.
No, basketball is a different story up in New York.
Yes.
Real quick, Florida high school, and Florida football. You seen a special coming out on Florida Gators?
Briefly.
On 30 for 30 or whatever it is.
Oh, really?
Oh, this thing.
We're running out of time,
This
boys.
thing is ugly.
Yeah, we're off the air in 30 seconds,
Quite
whether we
ugly.
like it or not.
Quite ugly.
DeQuell, thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
Great to see you as always.
We'll do that in a little bit. There it is, Browns post-game show.
2-minute
McNuggets turns 14 this week, so we're excited about that. And G. Bush just proud as can be.
That's good. I'm always celebrating my win.
Proud dad.
You know what? I got a new nickname for G. Bush. G. Bush is, who's the busiest man in television?
You got 7 seconds. You better get this out
No,
quick.
second busiest man in television. No,
Look at that.
come on.
Look at that.
Steve Harvey.
Twins.
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
You're the Steve Harvey of Cleveland
I'm your
Sports
man,
Media.
Steve Harvey. See ya.
All right. Steve Harvey of Cleveland Sports Media.
Steve Harvey got
That's
96
amazing.
shows.